Oh, all right, no problem.
Oh, we
Next
missed
time.
it, Prabhu.
It is now noticed.
It's recording in our mind. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a very nice melodious voice, I mean, Prabhu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have a very nice melodious voice.
It's not
Hoping,
like your voice.
hoping you can go to Canada soon and sing there.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, this
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, so now we'll wait for another 5 minutes for His Grace Prahlad Prabhu to join, and then we can start the Shastra Sara because today we have no artwork, unfortunately. Next week, Krishna willing, we can get some artworks to project for the pleasure of all the Vaishnavas here. But basically, the next session is Shastra Sara. We'll wait for Prahlad Prabhu to join for another 5 minutes, and also we'll hope that we get some more devotees to join in our meeting as well. All right. Thank you. Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu. Haribol.
Karthi Prabhu, did Prahlad Prabhu say anything about the co-leader thing?
No, actually, I asked Prabhu. Prabhu did not reply yet. I think he's very busy.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. So maybe when Prabhu's free again, he will reply. Hare Krishna, Abhay Prabhu, Dhanar Pranam. Thank you for joining. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Antriksh Prabhu, Hare Krishna to you as well. Dhanar Pranam. Thank you for joining. Very happy to have you here.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Jai
Dhanar
Prabhupada,
Pranam,
joining
Prabhu.
after a long time.
Happy to have you here, Prabhu. Haribol.
Thank you so much.
So we'll just wait for another 5 minutes, dear devotees. Just please kindly be patient and yeah, Prabhu should join soon.
Oh, but it's the surprise topic.
Surprise, surprise.
Hmm.
But Luvesh Prabhu, you know the bomb question, right? Just remember to release the bomb question after the group discussion is over, huh? As discussed previously. I think he's AFK. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. No. I was gonna cook rice, but we have run out of rice.
We. Thank Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Why haven't the recent Istagoshtis been uploaded so far? Last one was, I think, 13th of something, right? 13th of April.
Yes, Prabhu. I make them unlisted because I'm not sure if they have something controversial because the Matajis had some problem.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I just post the links to the Sloka learning group, so from there, because I cannot usually go through the whole every time the whole 4 hours, and sometimes
Oh,
there is some things. Then some months later, I get message that why this Istagosti is there, that this thing is mentioned, and then I'm scared that there is something.
we. Is it usually always something about the Mataji or something?
I don't remember what the thing was, but something that needed to be unlisted.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But the last Istagosti I didn't upload, I think. Maybe. I need to see once again. See, this is the last one, 24th. Yeah, there is one that is not uploaded, I think. Hare Krishna, Madhav, Prabhu, Dandat, Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Sandhyavat Pranam, Krishna Prabhupada.
Krishna Maharaj Prabhu, please accept our obeisances of Lord Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhu. Prabhu looks really bright and the sun looks really bright. Whole Germany is shining.
Yeah. No, today I was by my barber, you know. He make my sika, everything.
Yes, Prabhu, looks good.
So he's a devotee, we have a little bit luck.
Luvesh, Prabhu, do you remember what day it was?
Which day was what?
Last Istagoshti.
Literally last Sunday, no?
Yeah, what day it is? Let me see. Oh, Prahlad Prabhu joined.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Prabhu, accept our obeisances of Lord Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhu,
Praise to you, all glories to all of you. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandat, Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada.
Krishna, to all of you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Bhagavatam Pranam.
So, Prabhu, now is actually a speech, Prabhu. So, before that, I'll just read not the rules, but the general overview of the Shastra Sara section which I've prepared. Sami Prabhu, you can go to your private chat. Just screen share, go to your private, and I've shared a few things with you. Yes, all right, stop. All right, so the general time limit is 1 hour. So Prahlad Prabhu will give a speech for approximately 30 to 40 minutes, and the speech will then be followed by a Q&A for about 20 minutes. So the devotees, you can please be attentive in the speech which Prabhu is going to be giving. And if you have any doubts or any clarifications you want to seek, you can ask Prabhu after he completes his speech, not during. And the overall time limit is about 1 hour for this session. So yeah, these are the 2 points to keep in mind. So Prabhu, from Nectar of Instruction 2 to 11, or from 2 to...
We'll see 2 to 5 today.
how much ever possible.
We'll see 2
Okay.
to 5 today.
Noted, yes. Yes, Prabhu. So over to you, Prabhu.
Finished. Okay.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah. Just a minute. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, audible.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all Shri Prabhupada, all glories to all of you. So it's nice meeting all of you here. So early, but 16 people are here. Okay, I'm also very happy to hear that we have read this net of instruction in this reading session last week. It's very happy to hear. So what I suggest is that even from tomorrow onwards, you continue the same book again. So reading second time, probably third time also will give a clear understanding of this book. First time you read and read the second time. That is good. In this way we can complete one book properly. So Nectar of Instruction is a very, very important book. So that's why I thought we'll go by no need to hurry in this book. So we'll do from 2 to 5 today. We cover Nectar of Instruction 1 last week. So we'll cover 2 to 5. Let me share my screen here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः चैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथां मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सर्वगुणाधारविदं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च ये कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कान्तराधा कान्तरमोऽसुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी हर्षवाणुसुदे देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshu Priya. Vanchakalpatarubyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vachapaitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Dhiramane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Vivisheshunyavadi Paschata Deshadarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nidhyananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thanks again for joining in today's session. So Rector of Devotion is the most important book for a devotee because this is a handbook. This helps us to elevate ourselves in Krishna consciousness and bring us to topmost devotional service, which is called as Uttama Adhikari platform. So this book has to be read thoroughly by all the devotees so that we make a proper foundation. So in today's verse is NOI verse number 2. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangasya laulyam cha sakbir bhaktir vinashyati. So this is text number 2. So last week we saw how to control the senses. Who is called as Goswami, who is called as Godasa. All these things we saw in last week. Today we see that these 6 things that Vinashyati means destroyed. Which 6 things destroy one's devotional service? Ati aharaha. Ati ahara means overeating or over collecting. Prayasascha, over enduring. Prajalpa, ideal talking. Niyama, rules and regulations. Agraha, agraha. Agraha means too much. Right? Agraha means too much attached, and agraha means too much negligent. Agraha means too much attached. Janasanga means association of worldly people. Laulya means greed. Sadbi means 6. Vinashyati, destroyed. Bhakti, devotional service. So one devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in following 6 things. One is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required, over enduring for mundane things that are very difficult to attain, talking unnecessary about mundane subject matters, practicing spiritual rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, nor rejecting the rules and regulations of scriptures and working independently or whimsically. Number 5, associating with worldly-minded people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Number 6, being greedy for mundane achievement. So, I am going to simply repeat what Prabhupada said. I am not going to add so many of my explanations here. So this is kind of book review, kind of. Okay. So in this sloka, Prabhupada starts in the purport how the simple living, high thinking is very much important. Because human life is meant for simple living, high thinking. So Prabhupada starts from there, and after explaining this thing, so Prabhupada talks about how the 3 energies of Krishna is working, namely Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti and Tatashka Shakti. As you know, Antaranga Shakti is internal potency of the Lord, and Bahiranga Shakti is external potency of the Lord. Tatashka Shakti is marginal potency of the Lord. And Prabhupada explains that the living entity Jiva is actually a marginal potency. Volume, reduce. Marginal potency, and since it is marginal, sometimes it feels part of internal potency and sometimes it's fall of external potency. Then Prabhupada, after this, Prabhupada explains that when the living entity is connected to internal potency of the Lord, he is called as Mahatma. When he is connected with the inferior potency of the Lord, he is called as Duratma. So when Prabhupada explains these 2 things, how the Jiva is identified as Mahatma or Duratma. Then Prabhupada is giving explanation of Bhagavad Gita 9:13. Mahasmanastu mampartha devim prakriti mashitaha bhajantananya manaso jnatva bhutatim aveyam. So here in this verse, Krishna explains that how the soul, the great souls who are surrendered to Krishna or under the protection of his divine nature, so those who are engaged fully in devotional service, and they know Krishna as Supreme Person. So basically in this verse, Krishna explains that the Mahatmas or those who take shelter of his internal potency of the Lord, because they're always engaged in devotional service. It means they're always with Radharani, right? That's why they're called as Mahatmas. And then Prabhupada explains Mahatma means broad-minded. Broad-minded means, like they have place for everybody in their heart. They have place for even a dog and dog eater, Vidyavane Sampanne, Brahmane, Havigastine. So he has everybody, he has a mind. That's why the devotee is always merciful, and then they always want to help others because their mind is broad-minded. But the Duratmas, they are actually very much cripple-minded. It means they're always in kind of isms, Hinduism and nationalism and humanitarianism, altruism, and always into ism and so-called putting a favorable people in their link. It means the heart is so small, they can keep only the favorable people in the heart. But whereas Vaishnava, Mahatma is concerned, he is keeping even the envious. You like our movement, we were always discussing how to elevate the envious people, how to elevate the Christians and Muslims and Mayavadis. So we have a place for everyone. In our world, everybody is put together. That's why we are called as broad-minded. Whereas actually these Duratmas, they are called as actually cripple-minded. And again Prabhupada repeats the same thing. Mahatma, they are under the protection of Radharani, and then Duratmas, they are actually under the control of Durga Devi. So Prabhupada explains about that. And then then actually Prabhupada says that the Jiva, because he is in this in the material world, and then he is always under the control of the three kleshas, right? So Prabhupada is saying that everybody under the control of klesha, three kleshas, which is called as you see here Prabhupada say the devotees are under the control of Lakshmi, Radharani, and then the karmis are under the control of Mahamaya, Durga. So Prabhupada is explaining further that every living entity in the material world, they are under the control of Mahamaya. It means which is subjected to 3-4 miseries. Adi Devika, it means suffering caused by demigods, and Adi Bodhika, suffering caused by other living entities, and then Adhyatmika, suffering caused by one's own mind. So Deva Bhutatma Hetavaha. So it means everybody, Deva, Bhuta, everybody is under the control of the three kleshas, but the devotees are protected by the internal potency of the Lord. So that is what actually Prabhupada is explaining here. And then Prabhupada is explaining about, he is going to the next stage, he is talking about Atyahara. What is Atyahara? So Prabhupada talks about Atyahara. Atyahara means, Atyahara can be called as overeating, and then overcollecting. Again, overcollecting means money, knowledge, clothings, everything is overcollecting. So you should not think that overcollecting is only money. Even actually collecting too much knowledge, unnecessary knowledge is also condemned by Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta. Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, all of them actually condemn more than collecting. See, one should not collect more than necessary as his basic needs. So, and if you follow this, there is no difficulty. So again, Prabhupada is talking about, Prabhupada is saying that, everybody in the world, they need something, they need money, they need, like a food and all those things. But actually we should develop the habit of taking only what is required. So Prabhupada says that Atyahara, ahara is required. We don't say no, everybody needs something. Ahara is not just food, even actually your clothing, your knowledge, and everything is ahara. Atyahara means more than requirement is not good. So then Prabhupada gave an example how actually the bird, suppose if you put a bag of rice on the street, and then a bird will come and take only what is required. But however the human being is concerned, he will not take only what can stomach take, but he will just take and put in a storage. So that is Atyahara. So because of this kind of people, like especially human being, the whole world is in suffering, right? So now entire world is suffering because of this. Prabhupada is saying this. So we should, as the devotees are concerned, we should give up the habit of Atyahara It means anything, including the knowledge, we cannot collect more than required. So Prabhupada say, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Necro Devotion. These 4 books are sufficient. At least read only Prabhupada books, not required. Even the Gaudiya Math books, if you want to read, that's not required. If you want to read, that should be done with the devotee's guidance. Otherwise, it is very dangerous. Then Prabhupada is explaining what is prayasa. Prayasa means actually it's over enduring. Prabhupada says that prayasa is actually is advanced stage of atyahara. Atyahara means collecting more than required. For collecting more than required, then you should do prayasa. Prayasa means over enduring. Prayasa is technically defined as unnecessary endeavors. Unnecessary endeavors. So that is why actually Prabhupada is explaining, and Prabhupada also say that we don't need to go into any unnecessary endeavor because peace formula. Prabhupada say it is peace formula. The peace formula is just you have a cow and a land. That's it. You don't need to work hard. You don't need to work hard. Just have some land and then you have a cow and then you follow the Vedic literatures and dharma, and that is actually the real peace formula. We don't need to prayasa. We don't need to over endure for things. We don't need to do atyahara and then use this time to self-realization and God realization, and that is called as higher intelligence. So Prabhupada say, high intelligence means, be satisfied, with what you have, and then spend your time on self-realization and God realization. So this is what Prabhupada is trying to say about actually prayasa. And then Prabhupada also talks about the other kind of people who are foolish people, and then they are not satisfied with cows and land, but they want to open the factories and slaughterhouses and then the brothels and liquor shops, and then they are opening so many things like this because of these things, and then they are actually making the life very, very difficult, because the life is not for this, life is not to be wasted. Again, Prabhupada say that human life is meant for God realization. So please don't do prayasa. Don't do over enduring. And Prabhupada is explaining the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 129, Dharmasya hi apavarkasya. It means the real dharma is to be used only for liberation. It means how to get off this birth-death cycle. Nartho means not for sense enjoyment, not for increasing your opulences, material opulences. Nartasya dharma. See, you can see the translation. All occupational engagement dharma certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, one is engaged in ultimate occupational service. Dharma should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. It means dharma cannot be used for sense gratification. So it means when you are engaged in atyahara and prayasa, because Prabhupada is putting these two together. Atyahara, prayasa is similar. Atyahara is the lower stage, prayasa is advanced stage, like a first level cancer and second level cancer. So atyahara is the first level and prayasa is next level. So Prabhupada is putting atyahara and prayasa together, but if you do this, then you are misusing the dharma, misusing the human life. So for that, Prabhupada is also giving an example of actually, or for prayasa, Prabhupada is giving an example, sometime what happened, there was a rich guy, and then, he was earning so much money and suddenly he died by thinking of his family. So what happened? At the end of near his house, there is a cobbler house, there he took birth. They are like a security guard for the house. So one day, he remembered his past life, and then he entered into the house and calling them as a son and wife and all those things. And then, then his own son beat him with a shoe and saying that, get out of this house, this is my house, you cobbler coming to my house. And he said, no, I will earn all this property for you. And he said, get out. This is actually this is Prabhupada giving example. The prayasa simply leads to misery. Prayasa simply leads to misery, and that cannot give real happiness. So that Prabhupada explaining this atyahara and prayasa this way, and Prabhupada is next going to the prajalpa. Prajalpa means actually unnecessary talking. Week we saw, right, the frog, croaking of the frog. Prajalpa is compared to rocking of the frog, and this actually basically it's a worldly talk, and it is simply waste of time. And we talk about reading newspapers and magazines, and then the novels, and then India-Pakistan war, right? We also have the tendency to talk about what's going on in India, Pakistan, are they going to fight? See, this is all nonsensical talk. And what's happening in IPL, who is going to win this time? So simply waste of time, you see. So, and we have very limited life, very limited time in this life. So we should not be wasting this to play cards and and then do fishing and then watch television and some debates. So these are all actually Prajalpa category. So this Prajalpa is simply eats our life. So we don't have much time, so we should not waste our life. So Prajalpa is to be avoided. So next Prabhupada talks about Jana Sangha. Jana Sangha means associating with worldly people, and that should strictly be avoided. And Prabhupada is quoting the verse from Narottam Das Thakur, Tadiya Sevaya Bhakte Jane Bas. So actually Bhakte Sane Bas. Bhakta Sane means you stay in the association of devotees. So it means you should not stay with non-devotees. So again, when it talks about Jana Sangha, so Prabhupada is talking about three kind of people. They are called as Muktikami, Siddhikami, Muktikami. So Buddhikami, Bhuktikami means Bhokta, the one who wants material wealth. And then next one is actually Siddhikami. Siddhikami means the yogis who are always busy, and getting some siddhis and powers. They are actually called as Siddhikami. And then the next category of people, they are actually Muktikami. Muktikami means, they always want liberation. So like these three kind of association is to be given up by devotees of Krishna. So practicing devotees, that is what actually Prabhupada is explaining about this Jana Sangha. And then the next thing is actually called as Niyamagraha. Niyamagraha is actually, there are two things. One is Niyama Agraha. Agraha means eagerness to accept. Another one is Niyama Agraha. Niyama Agraha means actually you are actually failure to accept. It is Agraha. Agraha means eagerness to accept. Agraha means don't accept. So these two things. So Prabhupada is saying that Niyama Agraha means failure. So you should be failure in giving up the four enjoyments, namely illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. These four things you should agraha, you should give up. And then agraha means you should accept, the things that are favorable in devotional service, like attending Mangal Harati, and then chanting your rounds, talking to the devotees. So these things actually should be done, but not the other ways. You should not be holding too much rules and regulations. Our rules and regulation means, Prabhupada say, strictly avoid illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. And Prabhupada also say that one should not associate with Mayavadis and Bhuktikamis and then Siddhikamis. So we should not associate. So Prabhupada actually told the same thing before. And this is what actually about Niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means don't follow unnecessary rules, at the same time don't give up everything. So that will be explained further in the future, because everything belongs to Krishna. Since everything belongs to Krishna, we can use everything in Krishna service. But Prabhupada explains this in next verse, so we don't talk about this much here. The next one is Laulya. Laulya means actually greed. So desire to expand the mind by perfecting mystic yoga, merging into existence and attaining whimsical material prosperity. These are all Laulya. Laulya means three things. One is actually you get so much greed to increase the material opulence. You get so much greed to merge with God. It means you become God. You cannot become God. But if you want to become God by merging with this in effulgence, it is actually called as greed. You are expecting, you are aspiring for something which is not possible. Even there is only Ekala Eka Ishvara Krishna. There's only one God. Arasabha Bridya, everybody is servant. So when you're trying to merge with God, it is actually greed. The third thing is trying to get so many siddhis, which is useless, unnecessary. Anima, Mahima, Lahima. So ones who are trying to do this, they are actually called as Laulya. So then Prabhupada explains about, how the whole world is having so much greed, and then some are following capitalism, some are following communism. So Prabhupada says there are three kind of methods. One is capitalism, one is communism, other one is Krishna consciousness movement. So in capitalism, it means it's based on the boss, and communism is based on the worker. So some countries follow communism like Russia, some countries follow capitalism like US, but none of them are happy. So Prabhupada says sometimes the property is shared from communist to capitalist, or capitalist to communist. At any point of time, both the methods are failing. Because Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kinchat jagatyam jagat tena taktena punjita makrita kasya sviddhana. Because since everything belongs to Krishna, so Krishna conscious person, actually he is using everything in Krishna's service. So that's what actually he is very happy. That's a proper method. So Prabhupada give an example also. Sometimes we see some money is on the street in a pouch, in a wallet, and then first person he go and take it. He's called as Bhukti Kami. It means he want to take everything, thinking that everything belongs to him. He is greed, Laulya. There's greed. And next second set of guy, he comes and then sees and then he rejects it. It's not me. But that is also not proper, because Ishavasya Vidam Sarvam, everything belongs to Krishna. So simply reject it, that's also not right. So, and the third thing is actually a devotee. He goes and sees, open the pouch, and see the whose is belong to, and then give it to the right person. So devotee, whatever he see, he use everything in Krishna's service. So Prabhupada is explaining this way the 6 things that should not be done. This is actually the verse number 2. And verse number 3, Chaha Nishaya Dairya Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyaga Satovrite Sadbir Bhakti Prasidati. The 6 principal things that to the execution of 6 favorable things. What are that? Being enthusiastic, enduring with confidence, and being patient, acting according to the rules, regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu hearing, chanting, remembering, and abandoning association on non-devotees. Number 6, following in the footsteps of previous Acharya. And these 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of devotional service. So let's go to this verse. Okay, then Prabhupada starts the explanation saying that the bhakti is not something sentimental, or it is not about speculation, but it's activity. Because many Hindus, they think bhakti means you close eyes and sit, do something. No. Prabhupada says devotional service means, this actually activity. Then give example of Rupa Goswami, Abhirashita Sunyam, Jnanagarma Adinavratam, Anukulasya Krishnanachiranam Bhakti Ruchate. Bhakti Uttama. Uttama Bhakti, or another devotion of the Supreme Personal Godhead Sri Krishna, involves rendering devotional service in a way favorable to the Lord. Right? And that devotional service should be free from extraneous motive and devoid of fruitive karma, impersonal jnana, and other selfish desires. So these 3 things should not be there. Jnana, karma, anavrita. It means, we have to understand that bhakti is actually activity. It is not just that you sit and meditate or something. So Prabhupada says bhakti means cultivation. Cultivation means activity. So you cannot do some cultivation of the land by sitting simply idle. So the yogis, they think that, devotion means you should sit and close the eyes and do nothing. No, that is not bhakti. Bhakti means, you have to follow the devotional service. That is explained Prahlad Maharaj, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Sparanam, Bhattanam, Padasevam, Machanam, Mandaram, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedam. So one is hearing and chanting, remembering, serving the Lord's feet, worshipping the deity, offering obeisances unto the Lord, acting as Lord's servant, making friends with the Lord, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. So these are all, 9 things, but especially the Shravanam process is very important. So Prabhupada is explaining 3 verses to explain this Shravanam process. One is a favorite verse, Bhagavad Gita 4:34, Tatviti Pranipatena. So we have to, three things are there in that. Approach spiritual master, inquire from submissively, and then render service unto him. These three things must do. And then he is also explaining Mundaka Upanishad, Tat Vijnanatam Sagurum Yeva Bigachet. That means to understand the transcendental service, one must approach spiritual master. And then approach into what? Here. See, the hearing is important by going to the spiritual master. Then again, this opportunity is not given to everybody. Brahmanda Brahmadekone Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadepaya Bhakti Lada Beach. So we have to understand that every jiva is aspiring for liberation, but not everybody get the chance. Brahmanda Brahmadekone Bhagyavan Jiva. Kone Bhagyavan Jiva means only few rare souls, like get the opportunity to go back to Godhead. Not everybody. Not everybody. It's a very, very, very rare chance, we should say, and that is why Prabhupada say, so this kind of very rare things should be taken enthusiastically. So Prabhupada come to the first point. So Prabhupada is, from here, Prabhupada come to the topic Utsahat. So since it's a very rare opportunity and you got it out of millions of person, only you got the opportunity. So please don't waste your time, have some enthusiasm. Have some life in your devotional service. So Prabhupada say enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means, we have to do with full, you have to put your full heart inside that. And Prabhupada says that enthusiasm is not only for bhakti, even to achieve something material, still enthusiasm is required. Even if you want to do some business or artist, anybody, they want some enthusiasm, but the same enthusiasm, when it is put in Krishna consciousness, and that is actually real enthusiasm. So this is actually explained in CC Madhya 22:1-6. Krishnarte agila cheshta. It means answer is that one should always act for Krishna. In other words, you should put your enthusiasm in the pleasure of Krishna, right? And then Prabhupada says that everything in the world belongs to Krishna. So, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina mastani sarvaduputani chaham te shavastitaha. So, when you are doing Krishna consciousness, you must understand that the entire world, Krishna Swami is pervaded and all beings are in me, but I am not in them. It means, so we have to understand that Krishna is everywhere. It means everything belongs to Krishna. So we can have full rights to use anything for Krishna, like a typewriter or a car or a bike or automobile, whatever it may be. We have full rights to use anything for Krishna's pleasure. Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, everything belongs to him. So Prabhupada says that we should have utsaha, that's like a full motivation, enthusiasm to do everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Clear? So that's what actually, that's what explaining Rupa Goswami's word, Nirbande Krisha Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchate. So Yuktam means to do, Vairagya means not to do. So when you are engaging in devotional service, something you must do, something you should not do. And how to decide that? Nirbande Krisha Sambandhe. How to use in Krishna's service. If this can be used in Krishna's service, that is Yuktam. If something cannot be used, then it is Vairagyam. Suppose you need a wife to perform devotional service, Yuktam. If you don't need a wife, Vairagyam. Give up. So, it's not based on the object, but it is simply based on whether you can use it for Krishna or you cannot use it for Krishna. On this principle only, Utsahat, enthusiastically one must endure in devotional service. And Prabhupada say that activities, even though you are doing with a lot of utsaha, sometimes what happens when you do utsaha, you start expecting results very fast. No, Prabhupada say no, not like that. You have to execute with patience. One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Right? And Prabhupada give an example. We start this Krishna consciousness single-handedly. Prabhupada say, I started this alone. Nobody was with me. But you see now how many things are going on nicely. So you should not be impatient in executing devotional service, but should take instruction from the spiritual master and execute them with patience. So you take from spiritual master instruction and execute it with enthusiasm but still patient. See, it's a very, like a tricky thing. Enthusiasm should be there, but you should not be disturbed by the result of this activity. So it means your enthusiasm should be, like high class. So Prabhupada is given an example of actually a woman got married. It means she is going to have children. She'd have a faith in the husband that husband will give child to her, but not that she got married and next day asked the husband, where is my child? I thought after marriage the child will come. What happened to the child? No, you cannot ask like that. So Prabhupada say, patience, but still he is combining patience with confidence. Nischayat. Nischayat means the moment you have husband, you are going to have child. Don't worry. Similarly, the moment you have Guru and Krishna, your result is assured. So don't be impatient and then in confidence. So you have to be confident. So that's what Prabhupada is trying to say. And then tat karma. So what I said is that Prabhupada is putting Nishchayat and Dhairyat together. Right? The area the Nishchayat Prabhupada is putting is together. It means confidence and also patience. Okay, and next thing is actually tat karma pravartanat. When you say tat karma pravartanat, tat karma pravartanat means, when you are doing bhakti, there are so many things you should do. Right? So again, like yoga process, there are two things are there. One is called yama, other one is niyama. Yama means prohibition. Niyama means, like regulative principles. So yama means prohibited. What is prohibited? No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, gambling. That is yama. And like same thing, there are so many things also there, like things not favorable for Krishna consciousness. Right? So this is yama. What is niyama? Niyama means what you should do. Positive regulative principles, just like chant your rounds and then wake up in the morning and then associate with the devotees. And this is actually called as tat karma pravartanat. Okay. Then Prabhupada also, after that, Prabhupada talks about Sangha Tyaga. And Prabhupada talks about Sangha Tyaga, then Prabhupada talks about three kind of people, actually four kind of people. One is Karmi, Jnani, Yogi and non-devotees. So Prabhupada clearly says that you should give up the association with Karmis, Jnanis and Yogis and non-devotees. So for that, Chaitanya Charitamrita is being quoted again, like who is called as Vaishnava. So Asasanga Tyaga Ye Vaishnavachar. Characteristically, a Vaishnava is one who gives up a non-devotee association or worldly people mind. The same thing Artam Das Thakur say, Tanderes Charane say, Sevi Bhaktasthane Bhas. It means one has to live in the company of pure devotees and execute the regulative principle laid down by the previous acharyas. And of course, that is actually, again, Prabhupada is putting this two together, which is actually Satovrite. Prabhupada go to Satovrite. Satovrite means, you follow the footsteps of the previous acharya. Like Jiva Goswami, Ratam Das, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Prabhupada is saying ISKM is opening many centers just to invite people to live. 1 minute. What happened? Yeah. And then live in the company of devotees and practice regulative principles of devotional service. So Prabhupada talks about this. And Prabhupada says, go to next level. Of course, Prabhupada is saying one extra thing here, Vishuddha Sattva, devotional service means transcendental activities. So don't think that devotional service, these are all normal activities. Even though we are Kanishka Adhikaris, but the activity that we perform is actually Vishuddha Sattva. It's pure mode of goodness. Yeah. And then what is Satovrite? Satovrite means following the footsteps of the acharyas, like attend the Mangala Harati and then morning program, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, perform Kirtana. And these are all actually, this should be done 24 hours a day. Satatam Kirtayanto Maam, Yadandascha Dridavartaha, Namaskarasya Maam Bhakta Nityekto Pasate. So these actually called as Satovrite or following the footsteps of previous acharyas. So this is actually this is the meaning of Satovrite. Then Prabhupada summarizes. After Prabhupada talks about the 6 things that should be avoided. And Prabhupada says, see, if you are careful about these six things and do not worry, your bhakti is going to progress. So Prabhupada explaining, like being enthusiastic, being confident and being patient, giving up non-devotee association, following the required rules, and then divine devotee association. When you do 6 things, automatically, your bhakti is growing. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that the cultivation of knowledge by philosophical speculation, collection of mundane opulences, advancement of fruitive activities, these are all called as yoga siddhis, material perfection, or contrary to principle of devotional service. So, and when we talk about this, and Prabhupada is quoting from 269, I mean how our world and the non-devotees world are different, because whatever we say, the 6 things, the non-devotees like to do it, they enjoy doing this, but we don't want to do this, right? That's why Prabhupada says, compare this, take a verse from 269, Ya Isha Sarvabhutanam Tasyakam Jakrati Samyami Yasyam Jakrati Bhutani Sanisha Pashyato Muni. So what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control. And the time of awakening for the beings is night for introspective sage. So Prabhupada speaks about this particular verse. It means, we have to take up things which are actually favorable to devotional service. And again, Prabhupada also, of course, Prabhupada doesn't give a quote, but he says from 10th canto, but we found the quote, it is actually from Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll open the other window, that's better. Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse number 4 to 6. 4 to 6, So in the 4th verse, it's a Brahma's prayer, and he's saying that how the people who are not following the Krishna consciousness cannot be purified. So this is the point explained by Brahma here. So we'll see this one. My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the best path of self-realization. If someone gives up the path, engages in cultivation of speculative knowledge, he will simply undergo a troublesome process and will not achieve desired success. As a person who beats the empty husk of wheat cannot get grain, one who simply speculates cannot achieve self-realization. So what Prabhupada is saying is that, by following some other method, you are simply beating the empty husk. It is not going to be helpful to you. And then next verse 5, it continues. So Prabhupada kind of summarized these 3 verses and then put in the purport. Next verse. Almighty Lord, in the past, many yogis in the world achieved the platform of devotional service by offering all endeavors unto you and is faithfully carrying out the prescribed duties. This is actually called as, niyama. Things to accept. And what is yama? Through such devotional service perfected by process of hearing and chanting about you, they came to understand you, infallible one, and could not easily fallible one, and could easily surrender to you and achieve your supreme abode. So in this verse, it's explained yama. It means actually niyama. So it means what to do. So that is to surrender to Krishna and to devotional service. In this way, you can get perfected. This is what Brahma is saying here. But in next verse, if you see next verse, non-devotees, however, cannot realize you in your personal feature unless it may be possible for them to realize your expansion as the impersonal supreme by cultivating direct perception of the self within the heart. But they can do this only by purifying their mind and senses of all constitutional material distinctions and all attachment to material sense activities. Only in this way will your impersonal feature manifest itself to them. Okay, so here it actually explains that by following some other method you cannot get success. It is actually confirmed by Brahma here. Of course, there are so many quotes. in this chapter, in this verse. Prabhupada also talks about how the non-devotees, that those who are Mayavadis, they fell down from their position even though they are liberated. That is actually 10 to 32. If you want, you can refer later. And Prabhupada also talks about 1.5.17, how actually the neophyte devotee in his initial stage, he falls down by, even if he fell down, there is no danger, right? That's a famous verse. So Prabhupada is explaining all these verse, and then he stopped with this. This actually, this explanation on act of instruction, verse 3, and then we go to verse number 4. Tadati pranigranati guhyam machati prachati bhunkte bhojayate chaiva sadvidam priti lakshanam. So here, offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gift, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidently, accepting prasada, and offering prasada are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. So this is actually how the dealings of the devotees supposed to be. There are two devotees, how they have to mingle among themselves, because in the previous 2 verses we saw what a devotee must do, what a devotee should not do. But in the devotees association, there is Sangha. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse number 9. Machita madgata prana bodhayantascha padas parasparam kadayantascha mam nityam dushyantita ramachita. So when devotees meet together and then discuss together or spends time together, how they deal among them. So this is actually explained. So Prabhupada first talks about tadati pradikratati. It means one is accepting charitable gift and offering gift. So dadati pradikranati. So it means accepts and also give. So Prabhupada explains that in our movement, we need so many things, right? We need food, we need we need provisions, we need shelter, we need money. So many things are required. But still, so we go to the business people and ask them, you please help us with the money. And then what we do is that we just give them prasadam. So this is actually, we conduct so many programs, we are conducting so many programs by giving them prasadam, and then in this way they are satisfied. Tadati pradigranati. So we give them the knowledge, we give them Krishna consciousness, and then they give us back money, and then the shelter, and then so this way tadati pradigranati. So you accept what is required, and then we give the prasadam, and they are satisfied with this. This is actually tadati pradigranati. And then to explain this, Prabhupada goes to Madhilila 22.107. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Shrivanati Suddhachite Koraye Udai. So pure love of Krishna is eternally established in heart of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified and hearing and chanting, that love naturally awakens. So Prabhupada is trying to explain about the process of purification. It means you have to get purified so that you can naturally realize Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada is trying to say that why we should give them knowledge, why we should help the people, So because Prabhupada say, because you must be purified, because Krishna consciousness is not something we purchase from shop, not from Guru. Guru also cannot give you Krishna consciousness. Guru can give you only the seed of bhakti, but you have to develop it from there. So it's within you, it's not with Guru. Bhakti is not with Guru, bhakti is within you. To awaken that, you have to follow the footsteps of the Acharya, and for that only we have Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So it means actually like a Sankirtana movement is the prime humanity, benediction of humanity at large, because it actually removes all the dirty thing from the heart. So Prabhupada is explaining why we have to preach Krishna consciousness, tadati pradikranati, why we have to give the philosophy to them. So then for that Prabhupada is giving explanation, because when you talk about chanting, both the chanter and hearer are both getting purified. And Haridas Thakur further explains that actually, the one who hears Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even it can be animals, it can be purified. This is told by Haridas Thakur. And not only Haridas Thakur, he said Haridas Thakur. Not only Haridas Thakur, but also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was personally walking in the Jarikanda forest. And there also, he actually he made all the animals to dance. So this is actually called as, like the importance of revealing your mind, and that's why we have Dadati Pradigrati. So we give this Krishna conscious philosophy, and then we take money from them, we give them prasadam. This is actually the process. And then Guhyam Achati Prachati, it means you have to reveal your mind. But you cannot reveal your mind, to whoever you feels like. Because dharma, savai pumsam paro dharmam yatho bhaktir adokshaje. It means like the supreme occupation for all humanity is that by which men can attain loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. It means you have to reveal your inner mind to somebody and they can help you. That's why, because this is dharma. You have to Guhyam Achati Prachati. It means you have to go and reveal your mind and hear from them. Guhyam means confidential things. Achati Prachati. You talk about this and hear about this. And here Prabhupada wants, but don't go and talk to some Mayavadis. Don't reveal your inner self to Mayavadis and Karmis. And Prabhupada is saying, by feeding the snake, simply they are going to emit the poison. So Prabhupada is saying that, even though you want to, reveal your mind, and you cannot go and, hear or talk or reveal your mind to Mayavadis and materialistic people. There is no benefit in feeding a snake milk and bananas, because the snake will never be satisfied. On the contrary, by taking milk and bananas to take, simply become more and more poisonous. Kevalam Vishavardhanam. If the snake is given milk to drink, its poison simply increases. Similarly, we should not disclose our minds to the serpents, Mayavadis and Karmis. This disclosure will never help. So Prabhupada is explaining that do not go and reveal your mind to Mayavadis, and not only that, we cannot even invite them for our festivals or our programs. We see that some places they are inviting Mayavadis for their program. No, we cannot do this. We cannot invite them. We cannot invite them, Mayavadis and atheistic class of people. Of course, we can ask them to come to hear the philosophy, that's okay, but not as a speaker to give some honor something or give a special talk. No, we cannot do this. We cannot do this. For such intimate intermingling, we may become affected by the atheistic mentality. Sanghat sanjayate kama. Negative injection of the verse that should refrain from giving anything to or accept anything from the Mayavadis or atheists. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Vishayera anna koila dushta hoyamana. It means if you eat the food prepared by the non-devotees, and your mind will become bigger. So Prabhupada is explaining, is warning us, not to do this. Not to do this, it is very, very dangerous, right? And then, and then actually next Prabhupada is talking about Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari, of course, Prabhupada is giving a conclusion. The conclusion is that one should always keep company of the devotees, observe regulative devotional principles, follow the footsteps of the acharyas in full obediences, carry out the order of the spiritual master. In this way, we shall be able to develop devotional service and dormant Krishna consciousness. So, we cannot go and hear from Mayavadis and then, we cannot make anything. Simply, it not only won't give any benefit, it will destroy the things also. So, a devotee who is neither a neophyte nor Bhagavata. See, there are three kinds of devotees. This is explained in next verses. You see, if you are not a third class, nor a first class, and if you are a second class, and you must have the discrimination power. You must be able to, differentiate people and behave with them accordingly. So, Prabhupada is giving a very, very important instruction here. That is, how to deal with the devotees. So, a devotee must make friendship with other devotees. You see, a devotee, you must make friendship with other devotee, and then you should favor the innocent and reject the envious and demoniac. These three principles. So those who are equal to you, you just make friendship, and those who are innocent, you help them, and those who are envious or demoniac, reject them. So this is actually the important thing about this verse. And of course Prabhupada then he talks about the dati or giving for Krishna, and say Prabhupada 50% should be given for propagation of Krishna consciousness movement. So whatever earning you make, and 50% of the income should be given for Lord and his devotees. And he gave example Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami got money and 50% used for actually serving the devotees in the Lord, and the other 25% he was keeping for emergency. Other 25 he gave for relatives. So Prabhupada explains about this, and this is the end of this verse. You want me to stop here, Karthi Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
It's too late, huh? So
Yes,
we
Prabhu.
we will continue next verse tomorrow. I think we complete only 3 verses today, huh? Wow, it's going to be a very difficult task.
Yes, Prabhu. But we can again read the Nectar of Instruction in our reading sessions. We can read one more time NOI, as you said. So we can come more prepared next time.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
So you want us to read from 1 to 11 or from
Yeah.
where we stop?
Read from 1 to 11.
Okay. That's also Prabhu KC Prabhu has joined. And we
Oh,
have
Prabhu.
20 devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam, Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances of Krishna Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada. Very good, all of you. Anybody
So
has
now-
any questions?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have one question, Prabhu. So you were saying about the fact that atyahara doesn't mean just overeating, It also refers to over collection of knowledge. So what do you mean by this?
See, ahara means food. The food is not only the tongue's rights. Every senses and every organ of the body also has rights to have food. So eyes has different kind of food, and nose has different kind of food, and skin has different kind of food, and then your tongue has different, and then like your mind has different, intelligence has different. Everybody needs some food. So, and every senses to be satisfied also. Eyes to be satisfied, nose to be satisfied, not just the tongue and belly, and even genital to be satisfied sometimes if it is required. So all the senses to be satisfied, but not ati ahara, not more than required. Whatever required for food, for shelter, even for sex. So whatever is required, you take only that, not more than that. Even the knowledge, if you're reading so many books, you'll get confused. Like, I told you, a nice boy, he was hearing from so many things from Gaudiya Math, bad things about Bhakti Siddhanta, and then he started become a fault finder.
Oh.
Yeah, because he was trying to read a lot of things, That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, balona koile, balona podite. Don't read too much. By reading too many things, you'll become actually confused. That's why I said that even if you want to read some Gaudiya Math books, or even books like Madhurya Kadambini and all those things, you should take guidance of devotees and do. You cannot think that you're very advanced now, so I can start reading this because I'm this many years in the movement. You cannot do this. You should consult and take permission from the devotee whom you are reporting to.
So basically, Prabhu, we cannot make this mistake of trying to be over smart if we stick with ISKM lectures, Prabhupada lecture, and Prabhupada books, right? Even
Sorry?
we want to. No, I was saying we cannot make this mistake of trying to collect more knowledge if we simply stick with Prabhupada books and ISKM lectures. Even
Correct.
if we want to maybe read more or maybe listen more, but if we do it within this regulation that I'm reading only within Prabhupada books and only watching Prabhupada lectures, ISKM lectures, it'll be fine. That's what you're saying?
Exactly. That's what actually the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the sloka just now we discussed, right? The knowledge is not coming from outside. Knowledge is coming from inside. So what is the use of reading so many things? So not that by reading too many books we get so much knowledge. You see? I'm sharing the screen again. This is 122.107. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the heart of living entities. So it's eternally established. It is not that it is to be established or work in progress, under construction. It's not like that. It's already established eternally. But it is not something to be gained. So it is not something to be gained from another source. So by reading too many books or too many lectures, it's not that you are going to gain so much knowledge. And when the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the love naturally awakens. So it means the purpose of reading books is to only to purify your heart. By hearing about Krishna again and again, you're getting purified. But if you don't follow that, and if you go to the Brahminical platform of goodness, and then you're trying to hear so much, read too much to gain knowledge. Suppose you think that, I think I should read Padma Puran now. I think I should read Vayu Puran to know what is there. I think I should read, like Varaha Puran, Devi Bhagavad I want to hear now. I think I should learn Bible, I should learn Quran. If you're going to that level, then simply the dirt does not increase. So don't read unnecessary things. Don't read extra things. Just give only Prabhupada. Whatever Prabhupada gives, just read this.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes, Prabhu. Little loud, Prabhu. Yeah.
Can you hear me now, Prabhu?
Yeah, but little echo is there. It's fine. Yeah, tell me.
Prabhu, how to abandon the association of non-devotees in household life?
So it's not about householder, brahmachari, even a temple devotee. You have to associate with non-devotees. In fact, we associate with non-devotees more than you. Because when you go to office, you can just mind your own business. You can just actually, whatever the document you receive and sign the document or talk to him about the meetings, and you can still maintain your position, and then, you can avoid talking with non-devotees. But we as a full-time devotees, we have to talk to them, talk about their home and welfare, and then, trying to kind of friendly with them, and then we have to take money from them and give them prasad, invite them to the temple. Sometimes we have to glorify them, sometimes we have to, flatter them. Sometimes we have to invite them to the temple and talk some so-called Gramya Katha. How is the business? How is everything going? So we also have to associate non-devotees more than you, because in office you can control it, but we cannot control it. We have to do it. We are duty bound to do this. So, but you have to understand that Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe. That's what actually Rupa Goswami explained. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam Uchate. Yukta means accept, Vairagya means give up. So, based on how much you can use in Krishna's service, based on that principle, and you decide how much to associate, how much not to associate. So if you're a householder, and then you have to go to their festivals, no doubt about that. Sometimes, in the office you have to meet them, you have to talk to them, spend some time with them, no doubt about that. But you do it only as much as it is required, and and not more than that. So when you do that, then actually you won't be disturbed. Is it clear, Prabhu? That is what.
But
I'll share the screen again. That was okay. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called utsaha or enthusiasm. The devotees find correct means by which everything can be utilized in service of the Lord. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Muchate. Execution or devotional service is not a matter of ideal meditation, but a practical action with the foreground of spiritual life. Yukta means accept, Vairagya means give up. So Krishna Sambandhe, according to the association of Krishna, as much as required, you do it. See, bro, even if you talk to them, even if you spend time with them, still you can do without attached. Do not get attached to them. That's it. That is not devotee association. Now that's why there is an example. They say that actually once there was a group of brahmacharis. They were traveling, They went for outside so for some preaching or some work. They are coming back to the Gurukul, and all of them are practicing brahmacharyas. So all the Guru told him, see, you should not touch woman, should not talk to woman. He told. Then after that, when they were going back to the ashram, there was a river, and the river was getting flooded. And there was a girl, she was helpless, she was alone, she was very young, she was very beautiful, and then, she was a kind of, she has to cross the river now, otherwise, it's getting, flood is increasing, little water now, she has to swim and go that side now, so, but she don't know swimming, so she has nobody to help. So all the brahmacharis, they thought, I cannot touch the woman, they crossed and left. But one brahmachari, he was very merciful, and then he went and picked up the girl and then, helped her to cross the river and then dropped that side. But while he was carrying the girl and walking, all the brahmachari talking about the girl only. See, brahmachari is breaking the rules. Guru told don't carry, but he is carrying, what kind of rascal he is. So they are talking. After that, the brahmachari crossed that river and then dropped the Mataji that side and say Hare Krishna and then left to the ashram. But still the brahmacharis are talking among themselves. You see how we can do this, She was young, she was wearing this kind of dress, and then in the water, body parts all visible. It's very dangerous. He is going to fall down. They're talking like that. Even after coming ashram, they're talking about it only. So one courageous brahmachari, he gathered other devotees, other brahmacharis and went to the Guru and then complained about the whole thing. And then he told, actually, you see, you told don't touch the woman, but he touched the girl and crossed that. And then Guru heard the whole thing, and then he told only one sentence. He said that brahmachari dropped the girl there only, but you are still holding in your heart. It's you who is carrying the girl, but that person dropped there itself. But you are still carrying in your heart, and then talking about that girl, that girl, that girl, that girl. So it means it's not about how many hours you spend with non-devotees. It's not about how many hours you spend or, no, not like that. But are you doing as duty bound? Are you doing it, just actually as a duty, or you are just you're enjoying doing it? Suppose if you carry the girl, wow, good opportunity for me to touch a girl, but my Guru won't allow me now. Krishna gave me a chance to carry a girl now. I can carry a girl, hug her, whatever I want I can do now. If you think like that, then you are nonsense. But if you do duty bound, this girl is going to die. It's my duty to protect the girl. So I carry the girl and drop that side. And that is not a problem. So as a householder, as a working person, you must talk to non-devotees. But do it as a duty bound. You just go to office and then do your job and talk to your friends. And after come to family, you spend time. Suppose you have to go for family festivals and go with your wife, attend the festival and talk to your relatives. And then say Hare Krishna. If possible, you preach. Otherwise, just come back. After that, you don't carry them back to the house. You don't carry them back. So that is the art that you have to develop. That is called purification.
Yes, Prabhu.
That is purification.
Yes, Prabhu.
But the more you gain knowledge, more you understand the danger of carrying them in the heart, you can easily come out of that.
And this non-attachment, does it automatically come with more chanting and hearing from you? Is it how
Yes.
it is made?
Yes, by devotional service it comes.
Yes, Prabhu.
By serving the devotees by the mercy of Guru. That's a cheto darpanam arjanam bhavaha davag nirvapanam shreya kairo chandrika vitranam badhyavad jivanam ananda buddhivaddanam badhivadam purnamrta ashvadanam sarvatma sapane Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. This Sri Krishna Sankirtan, Nama Sankirtan will purify all these things. Cheta Darpanam will purify the heart. So the more you chant, more you serve the devotees, more you shravanam, hear about the Lord, and read the Bhagavatam and spend time with the devotees, then automatically you get detachment. So in fact, that is actually the proper process. It's actually explained by Narottam Das Thakur. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira. That song, it is mentioned. I can show you. So So here it is. Araka be nitai chander koruna hoibe samsara bhasana mora kabe tuchhabe vishaya chariya kabe suddha habe mana kabe hama heribo Sri Vrindavana. So it means, when will I obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda Chandra? So, when by his mercy will desire of material enjoyment become very insignificant. It means, when you are doing bhakti, if you are getting the mercy of Nityananda, means the material desires are going away from you. That is symptom, whether you got the mercy of Lord Nityananda or not. The next verse, when will the mind completely purified, being freed from material anxieties and desires, then I shall be able to understand Vrindavan and conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. And then my spiritual life will be successful. So, by this way, you have to purify your mind. Then you can understand Vrindavan. So it happens naturally. More and more you Chadiya Vaishnava Seva, Bhakta Janevas. So, when you stay with the devotees, you naturally, you get the detachment.
Yes, so thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Or you want to add something, Prabhu? Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, you want to add something?
That story was very nice, Prabhu, what you mentioned.
Hare Krishna.
The song is also very nice. So I think like Karthik Prabhu mentioned, right? Sometime you'll also want to go over some of these songs just to understand the meaning.
Yeah.
So very nice.
The important songs.
So the only thing I'll probably add, Prabhu, to what you said is, in the office environment, one practical way to deal with it is to try and see if we can use every opportunity in those connections to see if we can preach something. Right? If there is a way by which we can see every relationship in the office as an impetus for us to plant the seed of Krishna consciousness, either in the form of selling books, or either in the form of talking to them about Krishna, or either using them as potential donors, right? Whichever way we want to think about it. If we keep that in our consciousness, right, then probably that becomes an impetus for us to see these relationships very differently. That is one step we can take to some extent. It's, like you rightly mentioned, but it is not so easy. But to some extent, we can try and see all of these connections in the light of how it can be used for Krishna service. Anything I will add?
Yeah. You see, because Sundar Gopal Prabhu, he used to tell me that as long as you preach, you will not fall down. See, as long as you preach, you will not fall down. It's not that I am qualified or not. No. You say, Prabhu say you preach. If you preach, you will not fall down. And if you go to the office environment, you preach to your co-workers, co-staff. Two things happen. One thing, they will become Krishna conscious. Otherwise, they will stay away from you. If you go to the guy, he's going to talk some boring story now, or he's going to ask me money, let me stay away from him. You see, in that way, automatically detachment happens,
Very true. Very true, bro. That is very true. You're right. It can work both ways. But at least, as you rightly said, it can either make somebody come closer to you, or it can make somebody go far away from you. Both ways you gain.
Yeah.
You're not a loser.
All my friends, after I joined Krishna consciousness, they stop my connection automatically. I did not stop, they stopped themselves, because whenever I call, I ask them donations or something, I talk about Krishna, and they thought, oh, this is wasting time with him, they stopped the connection with me.
Yeah. See, at least practically for us, Prabhu, and I think by the mercy of devotees, and also by Prabhupada's mercy, at least in our office, right, we had an opportunity to talk to Balram Kripa Prabhu. Once Balram Kripa Prabhu was convinced, he spoke to Mani Prabhu. Then Mani Prabhu was convinced, he spoke to Sridhar. Sridhar was convinced, he spoke. So sometimes if there is one seed that we can plant, you never know how many more seeds that seed can actually further help in planting. So if it all happens by the will of the devotees and with the mercy of Prabhupada, nothing like it, right? The whole office then sees you in a different light. Right? When you go to the office, you only talk about Krishna because you're surrounded by people who know the signs of Krishna consciousness to some extent. So that's a very good opportunity. Actually, it is a very good opportunity to preach because sometimes full-time devotees, they cannot enter into corporate offices.
Yeah.
But when we are outsiders, as grahasthas, we have that unique opportunity to actually preach to office goers, right? And then use them somehow or other in Krishna service. That is a very unique opportunity we have.
Exactly. Right. Anything else from nectar of instruction, these verses? Anybody want to ask something?
Prabhu, one thing I want to ask, like, how should we preach to our parents? What is the best we could do actually to convince them?
So the best way to teach the parents is you try to help someone of their age. That's a proper thing. Maybe you can help to connect them with the local devotees or some senior devotees, or that's a proper way, because your parents will see you like a baby. You say something, and even if you speak very nice, they will say, "Oh, my son is speaking so nice." That's it. Nothing more than that. Oh, my son is so sweet. Oh, he speaks so nice. Is it my son? Oh, you grow very nice, better. That's it. Nothing more than this. You give so much philosophy for 1 hour. She will not say, listen, all these things. Oh, my son is so cute. That's it. Nothing more than that. So, of course, it's good for you. No loss for you to speak. But if you really want to give some benefit for them, it's always better that you try to engage someone of their age, or at least some senior devotees to talk. Because in family atmosphere, and you preaching will not be very effective. Or the best is you just give them Prabhupada book, or take them to some Sunday program of some ISKCON or something. Until the basic level they can go to ISKCON. After they start doing, then when they qualify, then you explain about ISKCON, SKM and all you can explain. Meanwhile, initial stage, you can take. You see, Karthi says this. It happens to me. I spoke with my mom and she said, "Oh, you speak very nicely."
Prabhu, I was actually like, because like my mother, like basically she asked me what all you do in the temple. And then I said, yesterday in the temple, I sang the morning prayers, Samsara Dava. Then she said, okay, sing for me, no? So because she's Carnatic singer, so I said, okay, no problem. I sang for her. Then after that, two things happened. One thing, of course, I tried to sing in a melody way and all. And then she was like, wow, you sing very nicely. I'll let you go to the temple regularly. And then I was explaining the philosophy after that. And after that, she said, oh, no, go back, sing again for the tune. I was thinking the whole point is to understand the meaning. And she was like, no, sing. I was like, okay, anyway, there's no point now.
Anyway, she get the mercy by hearing the words, the prayers. So the best is you just get your some other devotees to talk to your parents. That's the best. But still, you can try to give a book of Prabhupada. That's the best thing also.
Or sometimes, Prabhu, when preaching to parents, they'll say, yes, very good, very good. Then they'll say, what did you eat? You speak for 1 hour and the next question is, did you eat anything? Come on.
Okay. Anything else? 6150. Okay, no questions. You can go to the next segment. Karthik, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Noted. So thank you very much, Prabhu, for your speech today. So nectar of instruction till verse number 4, basically 1 to 4 is done. So this week also we will try to spend 1 or 2 reading sessions to complete nectar of instruction again, as you said, along with the purports. So at least we can try to understand more and realize more by the mercy of Prabhupada and all the devotees. And so yes, from next week, NOI 4 onwards. All right, noted. So now, Sami Prabhu, could you just go to your personal chat? Now it's about the group discussion. But before we go to the group discussion, we have to read the rules for the group discussion, which have been discussed previously. One more time. Okay, thank you. Just a minute, I'll just zoom. Okay. Rules for group discussion. So now we have 20 devotees. That's nice. So all devotees, kindly please be attentive for this. So number one, the maximum time allotted for the group discussion is 20 minutes. Each devotee should be mindful of this and limit their individual speaking time to no more than 2 minutes per turn. So there are 20 devotees, and whoever wants to speak, please don't speak for more than 2 minutes because every devotee needs to get a chance, and the overall time is 20 minutes strictly, which must be followed. The second is the discussion will be conducted in an informal way. Basically, you don't need to raise hands to speak, or every time you unmute, you don't have to say Dandot Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, and all that. You can just speak like how you speak with your uh, devotee friends, kind of like that. All right. Third thing, so you don't only have to agree with the points. You can either agree, disagree, or even add on to the points made by the previous devotees. But you have to provide your shastric proof and evidence to support the points. Or if you're, you're basically disagreeing, then you have to still support with shastra, right? So the shastric proof and references can be shared so that everybody can learn as a collective unit. So references from Shastra means from Prabhupada books, conversations, lectures, ISKM lectures, like that. Okay. So Prabhu, you can scroll down. Sami Prabhu. Yeah. Please stop. Yeah. Devotees are advised not to reference or quote from lectures of other ISKCON devotees because sometimes people were quoting from some ISKCON devotees. Please don't reference from ISKCON devotees. Sometimes they uh, change the philosophy. We are dealing with strict Prabhupada philosophy. All right. And then finally, so it's 20 minutes time limit, right? So by about 16th or 17th minute, so Sami Prabhu will be noting the time. And by 16th or 17th minute, he will ask any devotee to conclude. So whichever devotee wants to conclude, they can basically conclude all the points given by the other devotees for about 3 to 4 minutes. They can conclude, all right? So this is the overall rules for the group discussion. So just two things. Number one, Sami Prabhu, you kindly make note of the time with your timer. Okay. 16 to 17 minutes in, you can just interject and tell some devotee to conclude. All right. Second thing is Lavesh Prabhu. Please make a note that the bomb question will be released after the group discussion, not during. All right. So kindly make a note of that. So now, Sami Prabhu, what you do is that kindly take the group discussion topic and paste it 3 times in the chat. Okay, so Gaurav Shakti Prabhu is asking when is Sadhana Chart? Sadhana Chart is next, Prabhu, just for your kind information. Okay, so I hope all the devotees are ready. So now we can start with the group discussion. Again, Sami Prabhu, 20 minutes, make a note. Lavesh Prabhu, hope you're clear with the bomb question after the group discussion. Noted. So, all right, 3, 2, 1, let's start. So the group discussion's topic is what is lust and why do we need to give it up to grow in Krishna consciousness? So I would like to hear from Shrikant Prabhu. So Shrikant Prabhu, what do you have to say about this, Prabhu? I would like to hear your viewpoint.
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu. So anything that is not in line with the love of Krishna, that is considered lust, Prabhu. Like it's a perverted reflection that of love of Krishna, and then whatever we have outside of that, it is lust. And it's the conditioned soul's desire to enjoy sense gratification independently of Krishna's will. So Krishna doesn't want us to be away from him, but due to our own conditions, due to our own sense gratification desire or that propensity, we desire that and then we fall down. So that is lust. And to answer the second part, why do we need to like give up that? Like we just now saw in Nectar of Instruction as well, that the Vacho Vegam, Manaso Vegam. So I feel, Prabhu, like even when we talk about all of the urges of the desire, urges of the mind, the urges of senses, and urges of the genitals, all of this together can be put together as some form of lust, which we need to give up in order to grow up in the Krishna consciousness. So, and that is, if we don't give that up, then it will be affecting us, our progress in the Krishna consciousness journey, as mentioned in Nectar of Instruction, verse 2.
I would like to quote BG 3.37, where Krishna says, the supreme personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the only devouring sinful enemy of this world. Krishna clearly says that the lust is the worst enemy of the human being, which will be degrades our consciousness and takes away from the our natural position of being always advanced in the Krishna consciousness.
Oh, thank you for sharing the reference, Prabhu. Yeah, I like your point as well about how lust is actually our unnatural position, not our constitutional position to serve Krishna. It's actually opposite of that, to serve our own senses. Thank you for sharing the nice point, Abhay Prabhu. Sami Prabhu, what do you have to say about this?
I was just searching for a nice verse. I'll show this one related. Or let me open it. So this CCRD 4165. It shows the differentiation. See, translation. The desire to gratify one's own senses is kama, lust, but the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is prema, love. So this is the distinction between, in simplified way, what is lust and what is real love. And what was the second part of the question? Why do we need
to give it up? Yeah.
grow in Krishna consciousness? Yes, because this lust and Krishna consciousness, devotional service cannot go hand in hand. So we need to, because it's our origin, like Srikant Prabhu said, it's the original love of Godhead transformed into material attachment that is lust. So when we purify that lust, then it becomes love of Godhead. They cannot be together. So that's why it needs to be purified so we can go back to our original position, like Karti Prabhu said. So does anyone have anything to add?
Yes, Prabhu, lust is the perverted reflection in this material world, and Krishna Prema is the true love for Krishna, which is situated in the spiritual world, and that is we should always be developing, not the lust, which is the perverted reflection here, and always dangerous for our degradation of this consciousness.
So Rishikesh Prabhu, Neil Prabhu, Nityanandan Prabhu, I want to hear from you all also. Any nice points? I'm sure that Nityanandan Prabhu has some good points to share. Siddharth Prabhu as well. They're always watching ice cream lectures.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, so I have one point. Sri Narottam Das Thakur, he have said that Kama Krishna Karma Arpane. So, which means that due to our lust, we want many things for our sense gratification. But same lust can be transformed in a purified way so that we want everything for the satisfaction of Supreme Personality of God. So this is same what Swami Prabhu said, that the lust was only thing because of which we fall in this material world, but this we can use for elevating us again. So that is to develop the love towards Supreme Personality of God.
Haribol. Also, a lot of people are actually missing this point that in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 40, Krishna gives the actual reason why we need to really give up lust. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. Now, the reason I'm saying this is very important is because the more lust we have, the less access we have to transcendental knowledge, at least from a subtle perspective, even if we are reading all the books, but we are filled with lust and we just want to, increase the lust, we will not actually gain the necessary realizations we are supposed to, right? Just like now, ISKCON, what is going on? People have the lust, the ambition to gain puja and pratishtha, right? So even though they are reading Prabhupada's books, they still harbor this lust, these ambitions. So because of that, they cannot understand very simple statements also. For example, Prabhupada says, Ritvik, yes, in response to the question of particularly at that time when you are no longer with us. And any ISKCON devotee, you will see that they are talking about this Ritvik system. They are always talking against it. And the way they talk about the Ritvik system against itself is because they always eat away that very first part of the conversation, and they just skip to the middle, you know. They remove the first part of that conversation, last part of that May 29th conversation, and then they just show the confusing part and say it's confusing, and yeah, they go on. They don't actually want to be touching that. So you see how lust can blind the living entity, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Our true purpose. So we need to give up lust if we want to advance in spiritual life. Even if we have access to Prabhupada's books and even if we are reading it, we will not gain the proper realizations from it. We will not properly understand Prabhupada's instructions if we don't give up this lust, even to become guru.
Yes,
This ambition to
First-
occupy the post of guru, especially when you're unqualified, you see, it's going to be very, very dangerous, not just for you, but even for the so-called disciples that you take. So this is a very important point that I wanted to add. So sorry if I took that much time. Anybody else has anything to add?
So there is one verse, I think, was Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, text number 21, where Krishna says that there are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give this up for the later degradation of the soul. So if we truly want to advance in Krishna consciousness, then we should give up this lust. Yes, so I just want to add this.
Anyone else?
Yes, true. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Like lust is an, like all told that lust is an like which fall down from Krishna consciousness of his original position, because the mind is can be enemy or friend. It becomes enemy when when it hunted by the lust. So Krishna says 3.36, that verse is there, no? Can you show me? Yes. Arjuna said, "O descendant of Vishnu, by what is one impelled to say sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force?" Arjuna asked for Krishna. Then Krishna tells about 3.37. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into earth, and which is the all devouring sinful enemy of this world." So, lust is an which yes, Prabhu, lust is very dangerous, because it hunted by the mind. So mind will mind will act very dangerously. So we can't able to control our mind, even after knowing even after knowing what we have to do, or which is right, which is wrong. Even after knowing, we will do the wrong thing, because only by lust, which hunted by the mind. So for removing the lust, we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so we can remove lust by our heart, and always be in Krishna consciousness. And in 3.40, Luesh Prabhu also told that. Luesh Prabhu quoted that verse, which is.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
And So it is very dangerous, Prabhu. So we have to chant Hare Krishna mantra so we can be remove our lust.
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhu. So this lust is the main enemy, and where it develops from is we have to remember that it's the mode of passion. That the mode of passion, because when we are too much influenced with the mode of passion, then we become lusty. And when the lust is not fulfilled, as we have many times said, then we become angry. And because the lust is beginning of all these things. And next stage is there is bewilderment because we lose the memory. And then there is pranashyati, then we are become completely lost. So one has to control the lust and the anger for this to not happen. And the controlling means to put oneself in the mode of goodness. Because if we stay in the passion, then the lust will always develop. And yeah, it's mainly everything comes from the three modes of material nature, and especially when we're in the mode of passion and ignorance.
yes,
Anyone?
Prabhu. Actually, you see, we cannot really give up lust. It can only be transformed back into pure love. Basically, it's the same. It's two sides of the same coin, really. It depends on our intention. If we want to enjoy our senses, then that original urge becomes perverted. That original urge becomes perverted and becomes transformed into lust. But when we perform devotional service, that original urge reestablishes itself in the form of pure love for Krishna. And that is the actual goal of spiritual life. Spiritual life is meant to help everyone elevate themselves to that status of um, having reawakened that pure love for Krishna so that we can serve him. Doesn't matter where we are. So this is the main idea of what lust actually is and why we need to give it up. Give it up in the sense we need to retransform it back. And the way to retransform it is by taking shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, because he is the one who can give you instructions on how to get rid of this unnatural urge. Yes?
In 340 purport also, Krishna tells how to conquer the enemy as
Yes,
lust.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. But actually, now we only have about 45 seconds. So if anyone would love to conclude, that would be very nice. Any volunteers to conclude? Either there is a volunteer or I pick someone at random to conclude. I mean, you 10 seconds. Someone volunteer or I choose randomly.
Choose randomly. Whatever.
Karthi Prabhu, you conclude, please.
Okay. I shouldn't have spoken. Okay. So the point is this, that first we discuss about what is lust, right? So now there's three sections to it actually. What is lust? Why should we give up lust? And how should we give up lust? This how should we give it up was stated mostly by Luvesh Prabhu. What is it? And how and why we should give it up was stated by all the devotees by sharing the points, both in the chat as well as by speaking. So first of all, what is this lust, right? So this lust is basically the tendency for the conditioned soul, in other words, to become Krishna, or in other words, the tendency to imitate Krishna, right? So this lust is basically, as stated by Luvesh Prabhu, seated in the mind, intelligence, as well as the senses, is what impels the conditioned souls to try to be the enjoyer himself. Or in other words, try to imitate Krishna. Okay. So now this lust is actually caused by ignorance. So ignorance is actually the root cause of lust. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of the constitutional position of the living entity, which is Jivara Swarupahai Krishnera Nityadas. So when the living entity is covered by Maya and thus forgets his position of that of eternal servitorship to Krishna, he tries to enjoy his own senses. Because what? Anandamayo Vyashat. The position of the living entity is to always seek pleasure. It is pleasure seeking. So if he doesn't seek pleasure from Krishna, then he actually tries to seek pleasure, or in other words, tries to seek pleasure by becoming Krishna out of envy. All right. So this is what is lust. Lust is basically to try to enjoy one's own self rather than to serve Krishna. To serve Krishna is the original position, which is actually pure love. To try to enjoy one's own senses is actually the perverted reflection that is born out of ignorance. Okay. Now, why we should overcome this enemy? Because as long as a living entity is engaged in sinful acts, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, right? These are the four negative injunctions given by our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. As long as one is impelled to do these sinful acts, he cannot really understand his spiritual position, or in other words, he cannot really understand spiritual life. Because a devotee must be sinless, he cannot be sinful. The moment a devotee is sinful, a neophyte devotee, he is engaging in sinful acts, he cannot really understand his original position and advance nicely in spiritual life. That is not possible because to advance in spiritual life and to gratify senses are actually two opposite things. They are at the end of this each spec, they're at the end of the spectrum. Lust is in one end and love is in one end. Love of Krishna is in one end. So you cannot do two things at a time. You have to focus on re-establishing yourself with your constitutional position. And if one does not give up lust by the process of Krishna consciousness, then actually his stay in this material world is guaranteed and he has to undergo repeated suffering, which is what Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. So that's a guaranteed fact. Understand? So this is why we have to give up this lust. And how to give it up, as stated by Luvesh Prabhu? Well, you cannot technically give it up. You can just transform it because eternal love of Krishna is situated within the heart of every living entity, as stated by His Grace Prahlad Prabhu. Now, the bona fide spiritual master, he gives you the process by which the contamination can be removed. Or in other words, gold, when covered by a lot of dust, doesn't look gold, right? It looks black. But actually, there is still gold there. The dust just has to be removed. So, by the process given by the bona fide representative of Krishna, in our case, Srila Prabhupada, if we follow this process, of course, initially there might be hiccups, there will be troubles, that's for sure, because we're all just practicing. But if we stick to this process in the association of the devotees, which is most essential, then eventually this lust can be transformed into love. So that is why we all come together in the Istagoshti, in the Japa sessions, in the Saturday sessions, in the reading sessions, because we are trying to remind ourselves of our original constitutional position. And by the association of the devotees, then we get purified, and then one day this lust can be completely transformed into love of Godhead. So this is the conclusion. Please forgive me if I have made any.
Prabhu, I
If
have a
I'm,
question. Since you made an interesting point, it is like a spectrum from lust to love. So it takes, it's quite struggle for a neophyte devotee or a devotee who is completely, in lust and, is fallen. It's a struggle for him to reach to that prema level, love. So, this transformation is gradual. My question is that if someone reach to that peak stage, uh, the it's like so like if we reach there, the fall will be like fast, or it's not possible to again go to that lust. I mean, like if someone have attained prema love, so since you're telling it's a spectrum, so whether if he will like fall, it will be like gradual or like sudden, because we have seen in one case like Bharat Maharaj. So even though he was very advanced devotee, but he the we can say that he like fell. So that's what is my question. Did you got what I'm saying?
yes, yeah, I have understood. Yeah, you were saying that, like as I mentioned, the spectrum is there, right? Like to enjoy your senses is on the far end, and practice Krishna consciousness on the far end also. You cannot mix both. I understood that part. And you were saying that as one advances in Krishna consciousness, then suddenly if he falls down, will he degrade to a very low level very, very quickly? Or since, as mentioned before, that is a spectrum, will it be a slow degradation?
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's your question, right? Well, I think actually His Grace Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu can answer. I think Prahlad Prabhu is not here. I mean, he's much more senior to us. KC Prabhu can answer if possible, Prabhu.
Yes, I think if I understood the question right, what you're asking is if there is a fall down, whether that fall down is so steep that he cannot come back. Is that what you're trying to understand, Prabhu? Or the last part of the question I didn't understand. So you can explain
Yeah,
that.
it's like if he like falls, then he falls like at till what stage, and like does that fall is gradual. So I mean, like it's like it's like a mountain that when you climb very slowly, but when you fall, it's very fast, and then you fall till the end. Is it something like that?
So that's why Prabhupada explains that as long as one is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right, these fall downs will all be temporary. One will quickly be able to get up and actually continue performing his devotional service. This verse, Abhicheti Duracharo Bhajante Mam Ananya Bhak Sadhu Revasya Mantavya, Bhagavad Gita 9:30, right? Where it is explained that quickly, then the next verse says, Shipram Bhavanti Dharmatma, very quickly, right? One attains the perfect platform. So if you can go to those two verses, Prabhu, I think that will clarify his question, right? So 9:30, 9:30. So you see this verse, even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination, right? Now, what the meaning of this verse is, and Prabhupada will in a detailed fashion explain the purport. Just to summarize, what this means is sometimes, even while we are engaged in devotional service, because material nature is so strong, there is a tendency for us to fall down, right? But in spite of that fall down, if we continue chanting Krishna's names, continue our touch with devotional activities, we will be able to quickly come up, right? That's why Prabhupada says at any given point in time, never give up chanting. Sometimes it so happens that when devotees fall down, they give up chanting. If you give up chanting, it actually means you're giving up holding Krishna's hands. Because chanting is the only thing that connects us to Krishna, right? If you give that connection, then there will be no flow of electricity, right? Just like when the power supply is down temporarily, what happens? You don't get light, your electricity doesn't work, your home is not illuminated. But the minute the power supply is turned on by the electricity board, everything becomes illuminated. Why? Because your house still is connected to the transformer. If it is not connected to the transformer, what will happen? Even if the power comes back, right, your house will still remain dark. Right? So that's why in the subsequent, if you go to the next verse, Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma, see, he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly. Kaunteha Pratijanati, Name Bhakta Pranashati. So this is how we have to understand, the position in terms of whether our fall down will help us quickly come back or will remain, in that position. It all comes down to this point in terms of whether we continue remaining in that devotional spirit. Maybe the purport of 9:30, if you can read, Prabhu, that will explain.
Yes, bro. This is the verse.
The verse previous to this. We'll read this and then come here.
Prabhu, just one thing. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Your camera is.
I don't
Prabhu,
know. For some reason, it is.
yeah.
Even I don't know, bro. It is showing up as blank.
Oh, okay. No,
Even
because
I'm
I
trying
thought that.
No, no, even I'm trying hard to turn it on. But for some reason, some error is coming up.
Okay. I thought that you thought the camera was on, but
No,
never
bro. I
mind.
put it on. Yeah, for some reason it's not.
Okay. So sorry, Prabhu. Sorry to interrupt. Yes,
No
Prabhu.
problem.
Yes,
So maybe
Prabhu.
you can read, Prabhu. If you can come down, this is the entire purport. If you read, it'll take time. If you just can come down, Prabhu. This purport, if you can just come down. Come down. Yeah. If you can, but such a temporary fall down. If you can go up, Prabhu.
Yeah, but such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down but is wholeheartedly engaged in the transcendental service of Supreme Lord, the Lord being situated within his heart purifies him and excuses him from that abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of Lord sometimes becomes ensnared, but Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down at once rectified. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always success. No one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from the ideal path, as explained in the next verse. Such occasional fall downs will be stopped in due course as soon as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness.
Perfect.
Yes.
So that's why our program should be irrespective of what our situation is. We should never give up chanting, right? Chanting is that one aspect, right, that will always keep us connected to Krishna. Of course, all aspects of devotional service also, right? So we should try, because obviously material nature is so strong that sometimes, right, Maya can defeat us. But in a battle, what happens? If somebody is defeated, they get up again and then start fighting again, right? That should be the spirit with which we should execute devotional service. We should not think that, okay, I have fallen down, so I am done and dusted, right? At the same time, Prabhupada is also very carefully saying that one should not use this verse as an excuse to deliberately fall down and then think that Krishna will save me, right? That becomes an offense to the holy name. So we should carefully have both of these points in consideration. So to answer to your question, Prabhu, in a nutshell, it
Yes,
all
Prabhu.
depends on how much we keep in touch with devotional activities. That
Yes,
is what will determine how quickly we can come up. Right. Does that help, Prabhu?
Yes, but thank you so much. I got my answer.
So KC Prabhu, actually, I think Prahlad Prabhu is unavailable for some time. So if it's okay with you, can you hold the Q&A, which will take place after 10 minutes? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely fine, Prabhu. No problem.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm with you. So now, Lavesh Prabhu, thank you for the question, Rishikesh Prabhu. But now, Lavesh Prabhu, you can just share the bomb question. We can have a very small discussion, just for 2-3 minutes. Something very small. And the devotees can share their opinions or perspectives. You can just share in the chat.
Yes, Prabhu. So the bomb question is, if lust never satisfies us, then why do we always think just one more time will be different? Right? So this is the actual question that I think everyone should ponder upon. If there are any volunteers, please let me know if someone thinks they can answer.
It's the mind playing tricks, Prabhu. The mind is expert. So even though the intelligence knows, the intelligence somewhat by the mercy of Prabhupada has gotten a little bit purified to understand that this is wrong. But the mind is very, very nice to convince the intelligence. So, yeah.
So even Arjuna says the mind is very strong and it's very stronger than even controlling the wind. So I think that's also one reason why our mind and attention goes back to these sense objects from time to time.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's like mind gambles with us that at this time we will win, next time like that. So it's a pure gambling.
That's actually a nice analogy to gambling. Very nice, actually. I never heard this analogy, like this connection between illicit sex and gambling or lust in general. Very nice one, Prabhu. Actually, lust can apply to any of the four regulative principles, really. Apply to any of the four. Lust for
Not only of the four, even if somebody is following the four regulative principles, if I'm not wrong, and the devotees can correct me, in the Anishtita Bhakti, there is 6 stages, right? Vivesh Prabhu? 6 stages, right? And in the last stage, it is what? It is called Taranga Rangini, if I'm not wrong. And what does that mean? That means that you are disturbed by the waves of devotion, or in other words, you're practicing, you're well known, you're respected, and then people are coming, falling at your feet, and then doing this, doing that. Then what? Subtly the mind says, you know what? Wow, I'm a big guy. Wow, okay, fine. I need some respect. I need some praise and all that. That is also imitating Krishna, no?
facts,
Right? So I hope I'm not wrong in this. KC Prabhu, I hope I'm not wrong. If you think that I have made mistake, please correct me. But
No, absolutely. You're right. Anything, obviously lust is just not the desire to enjoy the opposite gender. It also means any material desire. So,
Prabhu, I got a question to Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu.
Yes.
If there's any transgression of the four regulative principles, there's a fall down. So what are the ways you can practically come up with a solution? Because more often than not, we are always falling down with more negative thoughts, like I have fallen down, how can I let something like this happen? So combating that itself will take some sort of a very mundane approach, meaning we'll end up doing more horrible stuff. So how do we implement Krishna consciousness in such a situation?
So, as just answering to Rishikesh Prabhu, right? Continue practicing bhakti, right? With more vigor. What happens when you get defeated? Let's assume you are in a battlefield, right? And there is a warrior who strikes a weapon on you and you fall down. Now you have to win the war, right? What will you do? You will get up slowly and fight the war? No, you will get up with more vigor, more passion, more aggression, and you will kind of have more ammunition to fight it, right? The same example applies when there is an accidental fall down, right? With all vigor, with all passion, with all enthusiasm, you should get up and fight. And what is that vigor, that enthusiasm, that passion when it comes to devotional service? Chanting our rounds nicely, trying to follow the principles, reading more philosophy, figuring out, introspecting constantly in terms of where did I go wrong? See, whenever a fall down happens, right, we should go to the starting point. Somewhere something was let loose by us, right? Could either be we were lazy in doing something, right? Or some principle we didn't follow properly, or we took some bad association, right? There will be some trigger to what caused our fall down or breaking of that principle. If we can identify that trigger, constantly introspect, right? And think about ways and means and develop a deep desire, and then pray to Prabhupada, pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, pray to Krishna, right? Then we can slowly come out of this great war against Maya. Otherwise, it's very, very hard. That's why if you go to this verse 3:28-32, a very practical solution that is given on how to control lust. Right? 3:28-32. Now see, somebody can read.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'll read. Sorry.
Yeah, please read, Prabhu.
A yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of Lord Sri Hari, a smile which, for all those who bow to him, dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. The yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency in order to charm the sex god for the good of the sages.
It is said that by actually repeatedly having darshan of the Lord, especially of the eyebrows of Krishna, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
One can actually get rid of this tendency of lust within one's heart. That's why every aspect of bhakti is important. Having darshan of the Lord, chanting Krishna's names, having prasadam, right? Constant introspection and thinking about ways and means by which we can improve our standard of bhakti will help us progress. Actually, if you look at it one way, Maya Devi is helping us progress towards Krishna faster. Sometimes people ask this question, right? I've taken up bhakti. Why is Maya, giving me difficulties? Because if Maya doesn't give you difficulties, you will not progress fast. So for us to progress fast, we need some push, right? So Maya Devi is actually giving us that push so that we can constantly think about ways and means to become stronger in bhakti. Otherwise, what will happen? We will not pray to Krishna. That's why if you see the prayers in the Srimad Bhagavatam, all these prayers, when do you pray to the Lord? You pray to the Lord only when there is intense emotion, right? Now, where does that emotion come from? That emotion comes from only when you've gone through difficulties. If you're not going through difficulties, Kunti Maharani is praying, you give me more difficulties. Why is she praying, give me more difficulties? Because at the time of difficulty, the intensity of the prayer increases. And our closeness to Krishna is established. Right? That is why she is saying, give me more and more. Vipada santu tatsatvat. Tattva tatra jagat guru. Give me more and more difficulties. I want more vipada. So that's the mood, right? If with that mood we practice bhakti, that is sincerity. What is sincerity? Sincerity means I will keep trying no matter what happens. And if every time I try, I will try and see how much better I can become from the previous instance. Right. That should be our mood. It's not that we should keep trying, right? In the neophyte stage, this happens. I've also had this experience many times. You keep trying. I keep trying the same thing. If you keep trying the same thing, what will happen is your fall down will also be the same degree. But what you should do is every time you fall down, you should think about, okay, what went wrong this time? Introspect and then try and plug that. And then pray to Prabhupada and Krishna to give us strength so that the next time we don't commit the same offense. Right? So this is how, we constantly go through this. And we should pray to the Lord. We should pray to Prabhupada. We should pray to we should also understand the philosophy. The philosophy behind lust is also very important. That's why if you go to this verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 20-16, the very important verse, if you want to counter lust, right? This philosophical understanding, if you have, like, this is very relevant to this bomb question that you've asked today. If you go to that verse, somebody can read this verse.
Yes, Prabhu. O my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of lusty desires. Although I have rendered these desires so much service, they have not shown any mercy to me. I have not been ashamed to serve them, nor have I even desired to give them up. O my Lord, O head of the Yadu dynasty, recently, however, my intelligence has been awakened, and now I am giving them up. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires, and I now come to you to surrender myself at your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and say me. Haribol.
So you see, I think this, if you go to the purport, this verse, I think Prabhu is from Bhakti Ratamrita Sindhu. Okay. So here, if you see the prayer, I can go back to the translation, Prabhu. If you see the prayer, right, it is so intense. He's saying, I have come to you to surrender myself at your fearless lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me. So this should be our prayer. Actually, this prayer, if we can memorize the sloka, every day we can, you can recite the sloka. Because this is what all of us are undergoing, right? And what the sloka also very clearly reveals, right? Like that verse that, Yamunacharya prayed, where, he said, I don't, every time this thought of lust comes to me, I want to give it up. What this verse also reveals is that this thought will keep coming to us. Due to transcendental intelligence, I have now refused to obey the unwanted orders, which means the orders are still coming. Just that he is refused to obey the orders. Right? Because unless we don't refuse to obey the orders, we act by those orders, that is when we get implicated. So it is not that these orders will not come. The mind will keep throwing these doubts. The mind will keep asking us these questions. Right? While I'm speaking to you on these verses, it is not that I have occupied complete control over this. No, it is very hard because it will keep coming. Every time when it comes to us, we should use this translation to our advantage. What we should use, how you should use this translation to the advantage. Although I have rendered these desires so much service, they are not shown any mercy. And this is what happens, right? Every time you can render service to lust, you don't get satisfied. You want to do more, and there is no end to it. And this is how Maya implicates us. That's why if somebody wants to give up lust, right, the only method, this is explained in Canto 10, chapter 33, text 39, right? This is how we can actually give up lust. You see this translation?
Anyone who faithfully hears or describes a Lord's playful affairs with the young gopis of Vrindavana will attain the Lord's pure devotional service. Thus, he will quickly become sober and conquer lust, the disease of the heart.
It says disease of the heart. So if you see the transcript there, it says Hridaya Bhava. If you go to the Sanskrit on top. Kamam Hritrogam. See this verse, Kamam Hritrogam. So material rust is Hritrogam, is a disease of the heart. So this disease of the heart can only be removed by hearing more and more about Krishna. Only then we can get rid of this lust. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult to come out of this lust. That's right. So two things we have to do, Prabhu. One is, of course, we have to act, with devotion. We have to act with, we have to perform our duties. We have to serve the instructions of the spiritual master. While we do that, we should also read Prabhupada books and get firmly convinced on the ill effects of lust. In fact, there is one verse, Sundar Gopal Prabhu was quoting this. I was hearing his class day before yesterday. It's a very beautiful verse spoken by Prahlad Maharaj on the ill effects of lust, right? So we can go to this 7, 9, 7, 10, 8. It's a very beautiful verse. You can actually note this verse, right, on the ill effects of lust.
O my Lord, because of lusty desires from the very beginning of one's birth, the functions of one's senses, mind, life, body, religion, patience, intelligence, shyness, opulence, strength, memory, and truthfulness are vanquished. Okay.
See, here in the purport, Prabhupada says, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Kamam Hridrogam. So this is the same verse we were talking about before this, right? This Hridrogam.
Yes.
So this is the danger of lust. Then so see, you see, this is a very important verse. If you can read some of these, you can keep track of these verses, right? And further in 7.10.3, Prahlad Maharaj says that the root cause of this material existence is lust. Right? That's how he begins his when Narasimhadev is asking him for benedictions, right? You see?
O my worshipful Lord, because the seed of lusty desires, which is the root cause of material existence, is within the core of everyone's heart. You have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptoms of a pure devotee.
So Prahlad Maharaj himself is coming to this world only to help people get rid of their existence in this material world. And the existence in this material world happens because of what? The seed of lusty desires. So you see how dangerous it is. So you can go back to that verse 7.10.8. See, the very, very important verse for us to. When I heard this verse, I was thinking, oh, when I learned this verse earlier, I could have read this many times. See, one's birth, function of one's senses, mind, life, body, religion, patience, intelligence, shyness, opulence, strength, memory, and truthfulness. 13 items. All these are vanquished.
Yes, Prabhu.
And Prabhupada's materialistic life means that one is afflicted by a formidable disease called lusty desire. And liberation means what? Freedom from this. That's why Prahlad Maharaj in subsequent verses is praying, oh my Lord, you give me anything, but I don't want this kama, material desires. I only want to serve you. When Narasimhadev is asking Prahlad Maharaj for benedictions, and we're reading this at an appropriate time, right? 1 week to go before Narasimha Jayanti. So Narasimhadev is asking Prahlad Maharaj, I'll give you any benedictions you want. At that time, Prahlad Maharaj is speaking these verses. And he's saying one can actually become a pure devotee, right? Only if he gives up lusty desires. Otherwise, it is not possible. That's why our whole program of this Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada is laid down, is for us to actually come out of this one gateway of hell. One of everybody was explaining that 16:21 verse, right? 3 gates to hell. Trividam narakasyedam, kamam krodam, tathalopam. These 3 are gateways to hell. So if we can come out of this, then that's the greatest benediction that we can have. The 3 gateways: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give up these, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So, I mean, so many verses on this karma thing, but the point is this, that we should philosophically understand the ill effects of karma, and then we should also follow the instructions of the spiritual master. By these 2 methods, we can actually transcend. And we should keep trying, right? We should never think that our mind will not have these desires coming in. It can come because of our to recover. Sometimes that guilt should be there, because if that guilt is not there, then what will happen is we will not try to rectify ourselves. That's why feeling guilty is actually a good sign. If you're feeling guilty, that means you're situated on the right platform. If you're not feeling guilty, that means you're into that mode of committing offenses.
Yes, Prabhu, I understand now.
So you see this verse, a person who has given up all desires for sense gratification. The sense gratification is translated as kama. Who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship, is devoid of all. He alone can attain peace. So this is how we should think about lust.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, and even when you mention about you have to go ahead with more vigor so that this lust doesn't attack us again. So even if that vigor which you get, the passion of trying to do better, even if it's temporary, is that okay? We don't have to feel like it's going to be any temporary, and later on it's going to, sober down this enthusiasm. So is that fine?
Come again, Prabhu. Sorry, I missed your question. What is it that you are trying to say?
After we fall down, we after guilt, optimistically speaking, we let's say we go with more vigor in our Krishna conscious practice. But for a fact that it's going to last only for so long, it's going to be very temporary, this extra push of enthusiasm. So is it fine if that push and the enthusiasm is for short-lived?
No, actually, if we think about it correctly, right, and we find the perfect cure for it, it will not be short-lived. See, one thing, right, and I can share this from my own personal experience, right? Sometimes what happens is, see, if you think about it, when does most of the time you'll see Maya creeping in only when you have idle time, right? When you have idle time is when
Yes,
you will
Prabhu.
see something creeping in, correct? So the fact of the
Yes,
matter is
Prabhu.
you have to find out ways by which you can always engage your mind in Krishna service. And the best way to do that, right, is if you have time, chant extra rounds, right? Or do some devotional activity. Participate, be in the association of devotees. Never have idle time. The minute you have idle time, and especially if you're staying alone, right, that becomes a great impetus for being deviated from the path of bhakti, right? So you see how actually in a way Maya is helping you, because what Maya is trying to do is it is trying to make you a devotee who will always remember Krishna. See, Krishna says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasthitadavata. Always think about me, right? But when will you always think about Krishna? Right? You'll always think about Krishna only when there is some impetus for you to do that, right? Maya is giving you that impetus. See, in a way, Maya is indirectly helping you to think about Krishna always. Right? That's why, actually, for a devotee, even Maya is in a sense favorable. It's not unfavorable. Right? That's how we should think about it. And we should not curse Maya. Sometimes devotees get in the habit of cursing Maya. You don't curse Maya because Maya is actually helping you think about Krishna always. So that should be the way we should see Prabhu. So there's no question of it's a temporary relief and all. No, no. If we identify the right cure, you will never fall down.
Yes, Prabhu.
Problem is to identify the right cure. If you do it's like, supposing you have a wound. If you do a temporary fix to the wound will not heal. But if you consult the devotees properly, right? If you talk to your senior devotees, you take inspiration from them, and then if you fix the problem, it will become a permanent cure. Right? So that's why consulting Sadhu Shastra Guru is important. If we try it by our own means, right, which many of us try doing, even I try doing that, we try it by our own means, we'll be less successful. Right? So that's how we should think about it, Prabhu. So somehow, like he mentioned, Lovesh Prabhu mentioned, right, idle mind is a devil's workshop. We should think about ways and means by which we can always remain connected with Krishna. That way, we can become successful. Oh, I hope that helps answer your question.
Yes, Prabhu. It very much does. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you very much for the questions, and that marks the end of the bomb questions discussion. So thank you very much, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, for answering and taking your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now we can go forward with the sadhana chart, and we can project the top 5 scores. So Sami Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu. 1 second.
Yes, Prabhu, no problem. Take your time.
Prabhu, Lebohan Prabhu just sent me a picture of the Zoom call, and I am also on Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu's camera simultaneously. I don't know how that is, but
It seems strange. Something is happening. Some Yoga Maya potency is acting, it looks like.
yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, KC Prabhu, for the explanation.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
So what is going on?
Read the names, la. I mean, can't see small.
Yes, Prabhu, I'm trying to make it do better. Okay, here's the top 7. At first place, there is Gora Shakti Prabhu, Luvesh Prabhu and me, and then Odina Krishna Prabhu is at second place now.
Share the screen. I'm sorry.
Oh, this week we have much more devotees feeling so Haribo, very nice.
You want to share your screen, Prabhu?
Is that visible?
No, it's not visible. Hi.
No, he shared his screen, Prabhu. His screen is sharing. It's visible for us, Prabhu.
Is it?
Yeah, I can see.
I can't see. Why I cannot see?
Maybe you can reshare the screen, Prabhu.
Huh?
Maybe Swami Prabhu can unshare and reshare again.
Yeah. Sami Prabhu, try to reshare again, just to see.
Yeah. I can see now. If possible, take one more also. Cover nicely. No, but water should not go inside, huh? Cover properly.
Can you see Prabhu?
Swami Prabhu, Gaura Shakti Prabhu, Luvish Prabhu, and then Dena Krishna Prabhu. Smita Krishna Prabhu is 618 points, huh? Lebo Hang Prabhu, Bhakta Karti, wow. What happened to you, Prabhu? Karti Prabhu, you're okay?
Okay, Prabhu, I actually missed filling one day. If I filled that, I would have been at least 50 points more. Basically, I would have been top 5.
So I'm asking why? What's the problem? Why are you doing like this?
Prabhu, because Luresh Prabhu and Gauri Shakti Prabhu, they're forcing me, Prabhu.
Okay, good. Don't give me shock.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Okay, good. Congratulations to the winners.
Next week, 600, Prabhu. Krishna will.
Yes. Very bold.
So these were all devotees who filled this week. There were no others. So this week, all the devotees who filled got at least 500. So that's nice.
Srikant did not fill this week.
Yes, Prabhu. I didn't fill the Sadhana. Yes, Prabhu. I'll fill it next week, definitely.
So I request everyone to fill up, then only, it will be nice. What about Nityanandan Prabhu, Siddharth Prabhu? You all should start filling up.
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry.
Yeah, last week also I told, no? Start filling up. What about Dharani? Dharani not filling up?
Not sure, Prabhu, what happened to him. I think only Gauri Shakti Prabhu knows what happened to him. He's not online also.
Oh.
Prabhu, by the way, are you using the iPhone flashlight, Prabhu, or which phone's flashlight you're using?
iPhone.
Yeah, because very, very bright, that's why I asked.
I also use that spread view.
Yeah, yes. I was thinking, Prabhu, you did something like this because it's like very evenly coated. All glories to iPhone.
Brahma Jyoti.
Mayavadi. I got merged with Brahma Jyoti now. Looks like going to rain now. Power cut. Okay, congratulations. I think I request everyone to, of course, Kati Prabhu has prepared the group leader concept, but I did not verify it yet. I'll do it. So we have to create the groups again, the group leaders. Okay, good. What is next?
Next is Q&A, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. So,
what is a bomb question, by the way?
Vivek Prabhu, you can just share what is the bomb question?
So the bomb question was basically that if lust never satisfies us, then why do we always think just one more time will be different? That was the bomb question, Prabhu.
Okay, good. Anybody has any questions?
I do, Prabhu, but not about the discussion or anything. It's completely unrelated. Just a general Q&A question.
Yeah, general questions. General questions.
I just wanted
Anybody
to,
else? I think
I just wanted you to elaborate a little bit more on how exactly was it misinterpreted that Prabhupada didn't actually want a skyscraper temple, even though he said it. So how do we figure out that it was taken out of context? How do we know that? If you
no,
can.
Prabhupada wanted skyscraper building. Prabhupada wanted.
Oh,
Who said Prabhupada don't want? Prabhupada wanted, but not in Vrindavan.
okay.
Vrindavan is not a place to make a skyscraper buildings.
Okay, Prabhu.
We are not against skyscraper buildings. We are against that in Vrindavan. Because what happened, when we do this, then Vrindavan will become overpopulated and all the sense gratifiers and everybody will start coming to Vrindavan. See, basically, the idea of the skyscraper building is to attract the common public. So, but Vrindavan is already attracted by transcendental devotees or those who are trying to be transcendental. So, only devotees are getting attracted to Vrindavan so far. But skyscraper building is to, invite the non-devotees and those who are sense enjoyers. So, idea of skyscraper building is to invite the sense enjoyers and give them satisfy the senses with Krishna. The eyes, nose, everything gets satisfied by prasadam at the temple, and that's the reason. But there is no logic in making a skyscraper building in Vrindavan. Vrindavan should be with a garden and then, a nice temple where we can gather and congregationally chant and hear, guest houses where we can stay and attend the programs. So that is the whole idea of this skyscraper building. I mean, like a proper temple in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada wanted skyscraper building. Nirbandhe kasha sambandhe yugda vairagya muchate. Right, so we have to use everything in Krishna service. Isha vasam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna. Why you cannot have it? It's completely all right.
So same applies also to Mayapur and Ayodhya and all the other holy places of pilgrimage, or just Vrindavan?
Mayapur you can have because Mayapur, the mood is spoiled because of all the Muslims. Mayapur actually they lost that, externally it lost. Of course, it always, Mayapur is Mayapur, no doubt about that. But Mayapur, because of all the Muslims, Prabhupada in fact, basically recreated the Mayapur. So Mayapur is fine to have a huge temple, But Vrindavan is already so small, and Mayapur has a huge roads and all those things. It's there, it's fine. But especially Vrindavan is all the Goswamis. When all the Goswamis goes there and then, they cannot, everything will become very expensive there. And then you cannot walk. Already we cannot go to Sad Goswami temples comfortably. And when you go to Vrindavan, when you go to Rajamandal, wait down. Why are they making so much noise? So when you go to Rajamandal, the Vrindavan is the only, place that looks like a city. If you go to Kambyavan and other places, that's, you can still feel a garden there. But Vrindavan is so much overcrowded. But when this skyscraper building, because ISKCON came, then because of ISKCON only, so much development in Vrindavan externally. After Prem Mandir came, because before Prem Mandir, I still remember, we used to take the tourist van and everything in front of Vrindavan temple. We can get inside, and then there is no barricade in Vrindavan. No barricade in Vrindavan. We can easily go and come. Maybe only the Loy Bazaar side, or especially that Baki Bihari temple side, some crowd will be there. Otherwise, Vrindavan was completely okay. It was not no much crowd. But after the Prem Mandir came, then the crowd has increased. But now with the skyscraper building that they are making, that's going to make it more worse. Now everybody is going to come only to see that temple. So when they are coming there, they will also go to, this Goswami temple and all. So basically, inviting all this, like Sahajas, and then, not even Sahajas, we are just inviting all this sense enjoyers, Duratmas inside Vrindavan. So, which is not good actually.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Mm.
So it's becoming a tourism park, huh?
Yes, but one point.
Yeah, become tourist place
Prabhu,
rather
but
than
isn't there a
spiritual hub.
chance
It's become a
for
tourism.
isn't there a chance for these sense enjoyers to be blessed with Krishna's mercy? Can't we consider
Yeah,
that?
but not in Vrindavan. Not in Vrindavan. You can do in your own place. See, the Vrindavan, you just go to charge yourself, Like that you can do your say Bangalore and Chennai. That you can do there itself. You don't need to have Vrindavan doesn't need a skyscraper building to attract people. Vrindavan is attracting people with its own spiritual vibrations.
Yes, Prabhu, got it.
Yeah. So basically, it's like very advanced place. Vrindavan is only for like highly advanced devotees. Even us, if you go, Prabhupada say don't stay more than 5 days. Just go 5 days, stay and come back. Don't stay more than 5 days. This is what Prabhupada says. So
Why
that's
is that,
only
Prabhu?
for the Goswamis, because there are so many Mayavadis and then so many this cult and that cult and Premanand Maharaj, Dit Maharaj, that Maharaj, so many camps are there and you may get confused. And also you may start behaving like a Sahaja by imitating the natural life of Brajavasis. Brajavasis are naturally Krishna conscious. So but you start imitating them. So we are actually sadhana bhaktas. Sadhana siddha. We are just sadhana bhaktas in fact. We are simply trying to be a bhakta by our sadhanas. So we just need to go there and then see Vrindavan and get the blessings of the sand, get the blessings of Radharani and then get the blessings of Vrajabasis and all the monkeys and cows. You just go there and come back. That's it. Not more than that. But if you're going to Vrindavan, one-way ticket, that should be only with 2 pair of coping, not more than that. If you're prepared to go Vrindavan with the 2 pair of copins, you can stay there forever, for a long time. With actually, with all the conditioned nature, we cannot stay in Vrindavan for a long time. Anything else?
Prabhu, I recently asked Jay Sundar Gopal Prabhu about having pets being an impediment in a spiritual advancement, but I forgot to ask him for a Vedic reference. Plus, I didn't understand how usually it's like in most of our scripture, not scriptures exactly, but about having a dog, right? A dog was given as an example when it came along with the Pandavas and Yudhishthir for their way to heaven. So they claim that having a dog has served to be some sort of a good companion in this journey.
Then started.
Till the time it closed, then I always began to have some or other very difficult we need to cover.
No.
But rain not a problem. Very much wind flow is very
Leave
much.
it. So already it
No, we covered it.
You covered it? Okay. Let's see tomorrow what happens. I did not expect the rain. Yes, bro, carry on.
Yes, sir. The question simply is that having a dog, as stated by a few people who have pet dogs, they say that it surely empowers in the spiritual advancement because they quote that the dog came along with the Yudhishthir Maharaj till the end.
Who said that?
A few of my friends, when I told having pets is an impediment, it will get you attracted, like Bharat Maharaj who got it with a deer. They said, no, this can also happen. All are one and all that.
So that's why you should not listen to them.
Yes, Prabhu, I know that.
That's what actually the today nectar of instruction, Prabhupada is saying the same thing. Do not reveal your mind or don't talk about spiritual subjects from the Mayavadis and non-devotees and then also from yogis. Hey Vivek Prabhu, how are you?
I'm fine.
You're going?
Yes, Prabhu. The
All
thing
okay.
dangerous, right? So, all
Okay, okay.
okay.
Call me later. Huh? Call me later. Hmm? When you're free, call me, okay? Haribol, you're there?
Yes, Prabhu, I will call you.
Yeah, call me when you're later. Hmm? When you're free later. Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
So, as you said, that is a correct answer because when you have the pets, you may get attracted to them because like you are supposed to be attracted to Krishna, but you may spend more time with them, and also the dogs and cats, they are very very low, so by touching them, you're getting impure because they pass stool and then walk everywhere, and then you know so you touch them and then you touch the deities or cook for, so you cannot keep pets in the house. Of course, Krishna was having pets, you know that.
No, Prabhu, I didn't.
Krishna was, and there's also names of all the Krishna's pet also there. I'll try to find out.
Prabhu, but it's normalized to such an extent that there are dogs in the bedroom, on the bed. Okay, bedroom. They're on the bed, they're in the kitchens and all.
Don't have dogs. That's it. Why you want to have dogs?
Now, then you see so many commercials, infomercials, and all where they give food advertisements, and there are dogs around.
Okay. See here.
Sometimes they allow dogs inside the bathroom also. Because they say the dog shouldn't feel lonely.
Okay, just see this. Uh, yeah, you can read this.
Yes, Prabhu. These cows are the Lord's pet animals. Of the Surabhi cows, all of whom are very dear to Lord Krishna, 7 are said to be the most important. They are Mangala, Pingala, Ganga, Pisangi, Manikastani, Hamsi, Vamsipriya, Padmagandha, and Pisangas, Pisangaksa are Krishna's pet oxen. In addition to these pet Surabhi cows, many other types of pets belong to Krishna and Radharani. Suranga is Krishna's pet deer, and Dahiloba is his pet monkey. Vyaghra and Brahmaka are Krishna's pet dogs. Okay. Kalaswana is his pet swan. Tandavika, his pet peacock, and Daksha and Vichakshana, his pet parrots. Wow. Okay. Krishna always. Okay. That's it.
No, it's okay. This is Radharani. It's Radharani's pets.
Oh.
Kakati
Kakati
is
is her
her.
pet monkey. Rangini is her pet doe, and Charu Chandrika is her pet chakori bird. Tundikeri is the name of Radharani's pet swan, who's fond of swimming in Radhakunda. Madhuri is Radharani's pet elephant, and Sukasmadi and Subha are her two pet parrots. The two parrots perfectly imitate Lalita Devi's playful jokes spoken to her master and Mr. Sri Radha Krishna. By this wonderful reputation, the parrots astonish the gopis.
And not only that, you can see this. Everything has name.
Krishna's mirror is named Saradindu, and his fan is Marum Ruta. His toy lotus flower is named Sudasmira, and his toy ball is named Chitra Koraka. Krishna's Golden bow is named Vilaskarmana. The two ends of his bow are studded with jewels, and it has bowstring named Manjulasara. His glistening jewel-handled scissors are named
Anyway,
Tustira.
everything has a name. And you see here, his cane is Mandana, his Veena is Tarangini. So this name only gave my daughter,
Haribo.
Lord
Oh,
Krishna's Veena. Yeah. On Krishna's Veena name only, I put name for my daughter, Tarangini. So, so likewise, Krishna's everything has a name.
wow.
Krishna's jewel is named Krishna's peacock. Krishna's peacock is called as Tandavika. That is Krishna's peacock feather. Anyway, but of course, we cannot have pets. Krishna can have, but we may get attached to them, get attracted to him. So it is not good for us to have. Is it Girish Prabhu or somebody else? Which Girish is it?
Different, Prabhu.
Okay. Is he first time?
No, I mean, Girish Prabhu, this Girish Prabhu, he joins in the reading sessions and participates. But Istagoshti, yeah, I think first time.
Oh, is it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Welcome. Okay, so anything else?
Prabhu, actually, I had, regarding this pet question, when I was in UAE, I had a pet parrot. Like, I basically bought that parrot when, like, basically the parrot had no hair, nothing. Like, you know how a baby head would shake when she's newborn? Like that I bought. Then I was hand feeding
Ah,
the parrot, like every day, waking up, hand feeding. Then slowly got feathers. Then actually, the parrot flew the first time from childhood in my house only. So actually, the attachment is very, very great if anybody keeps pets. It's a very, it's like just like a son. It's not a joke actually. It's not a joke matter. And suppose if the pet gets some disease, then the whole family will be sad. If the pet is happy, then the whole family will be happy. It's a very, very dangerous thing actually. People don't realize. But the one good thing was that later when I asked my parents to put Prabhupada Japa, the parrot would sit on top of the uh, like not monitor, the this thing, what's that, the computer, and then keep on hearing Prabhupada Japa 24/7 in a day. So that is the one good thing, but it's very
okay.
dangerous. It's very, very easy to be attached actually. It's so
So the
dangerous.
parrot may go back, you may not go back.
Maybe, Prabhu, I
The
don't know.
parrot may go back, you will not go
Yes,
back.
Prabhu.
Because you are hearing the parrot chanting. The parrot is hearing and getting benefited. But you
Yes,
will be
Prabhu.
looking at your parrot and getting mesmerized.
Yes. Yes, correct. It's
So
not a joke. It's like it's very strong attachment. People don't realize this until they have a pet. They will not realize this.
but
That
if you
is,
can, if you can have some pets that can be used in Krishna service, that's all right. For
yeah,
example, if you have a house and if you have some bulls, and if that can be used in the Krishna's garden or something, then that's okay because you are connecting them in Krishna service. But the parrot and dogs and all right, you are using it for your own sense gratification. Yeah.
yes, Prabhu.
How you can engage a dog in Krishna service?
No, Prabhu. Actually, regarding dog also can, because devotees, they have their field, right? They have a huge sometimes I heard that the devotees have a huge agricultural field, and in order to drive pests away, they have a dog and a cat
If you
in
have,
rare
you can.
cases.
It's okay. Even some
Yeah.
of us ask us to have some dogs also. But personally, I don't like dogs. That's why I say no. But that's okay if you have a field or something. And even Madhav Prabhu like dogs very much. When he come India, he sometimes used to talk to the dogs at night time.
It's just a big heart for the dog, nothing more.
Now you still remember your pastimes with the dogs in India or
Yeah.
temple?
Yes, yes, yes.
Whole night, all the street dogs will be barking. And Madhav will get and then he'll go, hey, shut up. He'll go and do that.
Mosquitoes or dogs are my best experience in India.
Of course, even the pet dogs those days, they will not let the dogs go inside the house and all. So they keep the dog outside the house. They know where to keep them. Not like taking to the bed and hugging the dog and sleeping and kissing it. These are all not good.
So
If
only a
I'm
cow
not
and a
wrong,
bull is okay, huh?
Huh?
Only a cow and a bull is okay and enough, right?
Yeah, but as Karthi say, if you have a land or something, and if you need a dog to protect that property, that's okay. Anything that can use in Krishna service, it's okay. But you have to be still careful not to get attached and use it only for Krishna's pleasure, not otherwise. Even with the cows also, we should be very careful. We cannot get attached to the cows.
Prabhu, if I'm not wrong, Chaitanya Leela Prabhu has a dog, right, in his place for protecting his land. If I'm not wrong,
I don't know. He may have because it's a huge farm, right? So nothing wrong in
yeah,
having.
yeah. That's what I'm just using the example. Like in their case, they have a farm, so they have to maybe need to protect. Then okay, but in our case, why we need can't manage own senses, have to manage dog senses.
Yeah. Even as Louis Prabhu say, I also I stay far from the dogs. I first of all, even if they try to lick me or touch me, I don't like to be touched by the dog. Other thing, I also have fear of dogs, but now it's decreasing. The fear decreasing, but still, I I the dogs, pets. I'm very far from all this.
Prabhu, especially in India also, I actually avoid going to India just because of this thing. Because there are so many street dogs. That's why sometimes I hesitate even to come to India. That's why I don't visit India so often or even walk on the streets whenever I go. Even if I go to India, I don't walk. I just either I take car or I remain at home. I cannot walk anywhere. It's impossible for me because I've been chased by dogs in India, and
Oh,
the experience was so horrifying that it really traumatized me forever. I actually still live with this trauma. I just cannot go out. I see a dog, I cannot go. I cannot. Uh, Here also,
wow.
actually, at least 5 residents out of, let's say, 20, they own multiple dogs here. So whenever I'm coming home and I see, and the dogs are off leash. So what I do is I literally turn the other direction and I walk above the level of my home, and I come home from there. I walk more on top the mountain just to get to my home.
Daily
That's
walking 5 kilometers extra because of two dogs.
Yes, no, it's not good because see the dogs are most of the dogs they are not on leash, and they still chase me even if they are not on leash, and it's very unpredictable even here. Even though they say that of course they're very well trained, but they are very unpredictable, Prabhu, because it has happened.
So
So
once when I was a small boy, I was learning bicycle, and then I was learning, and then I went over a dog, and then dogs just come near my face, and then it just barked. From that time, I got phobia of the dogs.
Prabhu, a dog in India chased me while I was on a bicycle only.
Oh,
I screamed like anything. I don't know what kind of scream that was. It was not like a regular scream. It was a very hoarse scream, and I couldn't, and I was shivering also after. I was like
I,
shaking.
I, I, I don't go to the house where dogs are there.
Same, Prabhu.
Anyway, what if you already have a dog? You have a dog now, Libohang Prabhu?
No, Prabhu. I used to have one.
You have one is leave it, it's okay. Nothing, I say, it's not wrong to have a dog. First of all, it is dirty. It is not a clean. And it eat everything. It eat meat, everything it eats. And it pass through everywhere. It's a very dirty animal to keep for, so someone who is worshipping the deity is not good. And second thing of attachment. You may get attached to a dog, you have to take birth as a dog. You take birth as cow is okay. You can give milk for Krishna, at least. At least take birth cow is not a bad idea. But take birth as a dog, that's if you born in India, sometime you may end up eating stool also. So
Yes, Prabhu. Even if you wash it every day, Prabhu, even if you treat it like a human being, Because my dog used to live like inside the house. We used to like bath it every day, you know.
Yeah, we bathe the deities every day. You bathe the dog every day.
No, it's before being a
Huh?
devotee.
He should
Not now.
maybe he's a
I'm no
devotee
longer.
dog or something. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. So that's what I'm saying. It is not good. Because whatever happened is happened. It's fine. But now we cannot have, because rather than wasting time in bathing the dog, better to bathe the deities or even the feet of the devotees.
No,
Yeah.
yes, bro.
Hmm.
Got the body to be dirt.
Huh?
Yes, he got the body to be dirt.
As Louis Prabhu say, as Srikant Prabhu say, even walking in Indian street alone, even I also fear. Even in Govardhan, I don't walk alone, because of the monkeys. I have fear to walk alone in Govardhan. So those monkeys are okay, but still alone. With some devotees, I walk along and go. I have phobia of all the animals and pets. I don't like them. Okay. Rishikesh Prabhu is asking question. Rishikesh Prabhu, can you ask? Quite long time I hear your voice.
Hare Krishna, brother. Dandavat pranam. Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Dhanavad Pranam. How are you doing?
yes, bro. I'm doing good. I'm
To
chanting
hear your voice after a long time,
and
your transcendental voice.
yes, bro.
How is your father, mother, all okay?
Yes, bro. They are good.
Your
Yes, bro.
brother?
Yeah, brother. Also good.
Good, very good. How is your sadhana doing? You're chanting and all every day?
Yes,
Properly?
bro. I'm waking up, joining Japa session and
Hmm.
also other sessions. I'll start filling the website also for the what is that? Sadhana chart from this week.
Yeah. Keep it up, keep it up.
Yes, bro.
Very good. Start preaching, preach to some people.
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, I told Sai Bhakti Prabhu for the books. So he's sending me. So then I will take them and then I'll distribute books outside.
Okay, we'll do something.
Yes, Prabhu.
So what do you have? What do you want to ask? Why everyone talks about doctor so much? What question you have? What will happen to those who attach to cows?
Yeah, yes,
See,
Prabhu.
but you see, if you
Sometimes
see the cows as if you see the cows as servant of Krishna, and if you get attached to the cows, that's not a bad idea. But still, that affection cannot be separate from Krishna. Separately, you go and touch them and play with them. That is not good. But as a devotee of Krishna, if you see the cows as the devotees of Krishna, those who are serving Krishna, in that aspect, if you have some attachment for them, that's okay. That's like having attachment for a fellow devotees. But that cannot be a separate. Even among the devotees also, if you say that, Prabhu, I like this devotee very much because he's his fair complexion and then he makes some nice jokes, I like this devotee, and that is not nice. If you like a devotee because he is devoted to Krishna,
Oh, Prabhu Kad.
in that way you like a devotee is different, right? As long as attraction is there based on Krishna, that is okay. That's not a big problem. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Anything else from Rishikesh Prabhu? Yeah, the structural engineer house. That's why I don't go. I'll always send some devotees there. Okay. Nityanandan Prabhu, what is the actual procedure for performing final rites, Prabhu? So the best is we just go and chant the holy name. That's it. And then you just give them the prasadam as a pinda for them. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else can be done. If possible, you can take the ash and then, you can put it in Ganga and then you can ask some Brahmana to do some Vishnu puja there and give you some dakshina and serve the Vaishnavas, feed the Vaishnavas, and that is actually the proper way to worship. You don't need to follow all the rules and regulations.
Understood, Prabhu. Because one of my relatives passed away. They made a whole bogus thing.
See, most of them are not bogus thing, but the people are bogus that they cannot do all these things. And things are also got speculated and changed. Of course, it has a proper rights. It's a karma kanda. See, karma kanda is a session of the Vedas, but we don't need to do karma kandas because we are devotees. Devotees don't do any karma kanda. Since we are always praising Krishna and trying to hear about Krishna and serve Krishna, we don't need to separately do any karma kanda stuff. But even the non-devotees also, because there is no proper Brahmana and Kali Yuga, and their karma kanda also waste of time. It's not going to help in any way.
No, because my brother and I almost the entire night.
Sorry?
We kept chanting next to the body entire night until 7 or 8 in the morning.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's
what
very
will get through?
Huh?
What benefits will the soul get?
See, the soul will stay for some time, Soul will stay in some time over there only after it leaves the body. So the soul happened to hear the holy name, and then by hearing the holy name, it will get purified. So its onward journey will be better.
And what do you tell about these people who cry and they weep a lot?
They are just sharing their emotion to the person. There is no use of it.
They cry for like 5 minutes, and then next minute they'll be like, "Please up, yeah."
Yeah. That's all. How long they can cry?
So
drink coffee to cry more, to get energy to cry more, huh?
Yeah. How long you can cry? Because we can cry forever only for Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was crying for Krishna, right?
Yeah, bro.
Because all other things are temporary. Even if it is own son or daughter, he cannot be crying for a long time.
What do you tell about this 11-day puja, Prabhu, after the death of the person?
It's all there in Garuda Puran because it says that to reach Yamapuri it takes 11 days according to Garuda Puran. But according to Bhagavatam, Sundar Gopal Prabhu showed me that it takes 1 year to go. So in the first 11 days they do Pinda. Because when the soul is traveling towards Yamapuri, and then throughout the way it will get beatings from the Yamadutas, and also it will go through the punishments even before meeting the judge. Even before meeting Yamaraj, it has to go through a lot of punishments. So it becomes simply speechless and then become unconscious. So that's why you give some pinda, some refreshing food for your forefathers, right? So they can eat nicely, they can get beaten up nicely. So you just give some food for them so that they can take the beatings nicely. You see here, like that. Because the moment you don't chant Krishna's name itself, you are sinful. So Yamaraj is just going to tell you how much you are sinful. But you are a sinful person already because you did not chant Krishna's name. So you are deserve to get punished. So throughout the way you are getting beaten up. So it takes 11 days in our calculation according to Padma Puran, the Garuda Puran. So you just give them food, 11 days so that they get energy. But nowadays what they do is that they are getting lazy. They don't do all the 11 days, On the 11th day they put 11 pindas for 11 days.
Yes, bro.
Nowadays they do that. It means You are not cooking breakfast on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Sunday, you cook breakfast for 7 days, 7 plates you are making. Does it make any sense? Huh?
No, Prabhu.
Today you are fasting, Monday you are fasting, sorry, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all 6 days you are fasting. And seventh day you're eating 7 plates. Does it make any sense?
Prabhu.
So all these are actually, this also answer the question of Srikant Prabhu. All the mantra chanted by the so-called Brahmana, that has no effect actually, because in Kali Yuga, nothing works. Kalau dosha nidhi rajan, asti hi eko mahagunan, kirtanat eva krishnasya, mukta sangha param brajet. Right? So you can go to 12 to 45. 12 to 12 4 3. Yeah. Let me see. 12 3. That Ravyamaya. That 12 3 45.
In Kali Yuga, objects, places, and even individuals' personalities are all polluted. The Almighty Personality of Godhead, however, can remove all contamination from the life of one who fixes the Lord within his mind.
So in Kali Yuga, everything is polluted. The object is polluted, the place is polluted, everything is polluted. Even the individual self is polluted. The Brahmana who is doing this mantra, that is also polluted. That's why, these are all won't work. Only thing, if you fix your mind on feet of Krishna, then you're getting purified and mantra will work.
Okay, Prabhu.
So
they're
I think this is
performing.
the answer to the question of Srikant Prabhu. Yep.
So they're performing all things based on karma kanda, and which is not relevant and applicable in Kali Yuga.
No, even if it is something applicable, we can either applicable, not applicable. We don't care. We don't do karma kanda.
Okay,
We cannot do.
No, because if few of them get a hen, if the on Tuesday of it, they get the hen and they keep near the body and do all that, take it to the graveyard.
No, let them do, because let them do. The samskaras will purify them gradually. Doing this is better than not doing all these things. At least they are doing something, no? Some rituals they are doing, right? Some mantras are chanted, even it has effect. Or for example, when you chant some marriage yajna, you chant like Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya Divasha Suratadam. So you just chant like that. It means Om Vishnu Paramam Padam. Vishnu is a Paramam Padam. So, like even when you chant this kind of mantras, so that has some effect. So let them do this. Don't stop them. But we cannot do this. We don't do karma kanda things because we are devotees of Krishna. We don't do this, but we don't stop others doing it. In Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, it is explained that I think 24, 25. Around it explained that once wait, I'll show you. Chapter 3.
26.
25. 25 and 26. 25 and 26.
Yes.
You can read this.
As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path.
So you cannot confuse them. You cannot say, like I cannot, I mean, if you are living alone, it's okay. But if you're living in the family, you cannot stop. You cannot stop them by doing all this. Read the next one.
So as to not disturb the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for gradual development of Krishna consciousness.
Clear. So you should not confuse them. So let them do. Let them do whatever they're doing. But you cannot do this.
Yeah, bro. One more thing. On the 11th day, they prepare non-veg in the name of the person who's dead, who passed away, and then they enjoy the feast.
Okay. So there are 5 things forbidden in this Kali Yuga. The 5 things forbidden in Kali Yuga.
Yes.
It is there in 9, 6, 7. Purport.
But I didn't hear the number.
Go to 967 purport. Purport go down. Yeah, this one. Ashwamedam Gavalambam Sanyasikam Palavaitrikam Devarena Sutot Patim Kalau Pancha Vivarjayet. Vivarjayet means bad. Read this.
So, in the age of Kali, 5 acts are forbidden: the offering of a horse in sacrifice, the offering of a cow in sacrifice, the acceptance of order of sannyas, the offering of oblations of flesh to the forefathers, and a man's begetting children in his brother's wife.
So offering oblations of flesh to forefathers is banned in Kali Yuga. You cannot offer this.
Okay, understood, bro.
What you have to offer vegetarian prasadam, vegetarian boga offered to the deities, and then that should be offered to like your forefathers. That's a proper way.
Even the acceptance of order is spoken right in Kali Yuga.
Acceptance of?
Sannyasa.
Yeah.
Order of sannyasa.
But in ISKCON, like whatever Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he started his sannyas only for preaching purpose. It is not like the real sannyas that they do, Our sannyas means for preaching. So, if you are not preaching, it's not like sannyas.
In the present so-called Karma Kanda people, they are going against the scriptures. Instead of following the scriptures, they went against the scriptures.
Yes.
In that case, my grandmother, when she passed away, like somehow or other, they had to perform the 12th day or some day ceremony. It happened to be on the day of Ekadasi. They had to do this Pindadana on the day of Ekadasi. And when I was going to go for it, you had mentioned that, actually, according to Brahma Puran, the oblations should not be offered to the forefathers on the day of Ekadasi. If it happens to be on the day of Ekadasi, it should be offered on the next day on Dwadasi. But if it is still offered on Ekadasi, then the one who's doing the sacrifice, the one who's offering to the forefather, and the forefather himself, all of them will go to hell.
It's there, no?
I showed this reference to the so-called Pandits over there. When I went to the place, I showed this reference to the so-called Pandits. They said, the Puranas are all stories. They said
the same thing, Prabhu. Even my grandfather, same thing. He died on Vaikuntha Ekadasi, and on that day they were giving grains and everything. So I just shared this verse to my father, and then he said, no, that's only for the Vaishnavas. And then they continue to do it on the Ekadasi day, feeding grains to everyone. It doesn't make sense.
Stories, but according to the Vedas, the Pitru Karya is given more importance than the Deva Karya.
I worry about your grandmother to whom that Brahmana was doing that.
Yeah.
What kind of Brahmana he is? He is saying Puranas are stories.
He is a crazy Prabhu.
You have a data cable with both sides this pen?
Both, yeah.
Can you give?
Yes.
I think my phone charge is going down. Okay. I think it is fine, right? Anything else you want to ask, or it's fine?
Bro. But you have to offer Krishna Prasadam.
Your voice is breaking.
Now,
No,
No,
Prabhu.
same.
yes, bro. Now can you hear me?
Yeah, good.
Yes, bro. So we have to offer Krishna Prasadam, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
Correct.
Understood. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Just like you were saying, no? Shamgoyadru, you are hearing? Ekadasi cannot be done on.
Yeah.
All of you are hearing what you are saying?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Obligations to the forefathers.
Okay. So that's it. Shraddha on Ekadasi. Wow. See, it's very interesting, huh? I don't know, some random website. It's a person who performs Shraddha on Ekadasi day gets wealth, full grain, favor of a king, and whatever else he may have decided his mind.
Oh.
Swayani Shah Sarva Bhutani. Our world is different.
Yeah, that is for the Karma Kanda.
But still, I don't know how much true it is. If one performs Shraddha ceremony of oblation to forefathers in Ekadasi Tithi, then the performer, the forefather for whom the Shraddha is performed, and the Purohita or family priest who encourage the ceremony all go to hell. This is from Brahma Vaivarta Puran. Ek kurvanti महापाल महीपाल श्रद्धां चैकादशी दिने त्रयस्ते नरकं यान्ति धाता प्रोक्ता च प्रेरकः. वाव. त्रयस्ते नरकं यान्ति.
Prabhu, this applies to those people also who get married on Ekadashi and serve like feast and all.
Only for Shraddha.
Okay.
Prabhu,
Okay
I have
then.
one more doubt.
Yeah.
Prabhu, now what if
Tell me.
they give food on Ekadashi, Prabhu, in the name of this puja?
Sorry?
This 11th day puja is, what if it falls on the Ekadashi and they give food?
Then we should do on the
during
next day. Next day.
next day? Okay, Prabhu. So what if
Read this
these
one.
people eat?
Read this one. Read this one.
Yes, Prabhu. Srila Jiva Goswami has given quotations from many shastras stating that the Shraddha ceremony of oblations to forefathers should not be performed on Ekadashi Tithi. Okay, bro. When the Tithi of the death anniversary falls on Ekadashi day, the Shraddha ceremony should be held not on Ekadashi but on the next day, or Dwadashi. Yes, Prabhu. Understood. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay then. So thank you very much for coming today.
Thank
So
you,
we see
Prabhu.
you all next week.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Next week we
kripa
have
sindhyavachcha
initiation
patitanga
ceremony.
pavanebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Next week we have initiation ceremony in our temple, and many devotees are getting initiated. So you all can come and bless the devotees.
Yes.
Next time maybe Madhava Prabhu can get initiated when he's here.
I come, Prabhu. 1 month left.
Okay. So Siddharth and whoever can come. Neer Prabhu also can come, not very far. Come and celebrate Narsimha Chaturdashi here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you
Krishna,
very much,
Jai
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Prabhupada.
Much Prabhu for your kind
Vanchakkalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhyavachcha
Review
pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo
Guru
namaha.
Vaishnava Ki Jai.
Jai.
Oh.
Yeah, or Prabhu. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu. Hari Bol.